All right. And we are live.
And we are not doing a show about Destiny. No, this is Teddy and Travis's Star Wars special. Foghorn, 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 foghorn. Ebontis is too weak, too sickly to tell me what to do today. So we're taking over the show and we're talking about whatever we want. No Destiny talk, none whatsoever. Teddy, I would love to introduce you, my co-host in the show, here to talk about, what are we doing today? Are we reviewing Bad Batch Season 3? Is that what we're doing? What are we doing, Teddy?
I don't know.
What are we doing this day?
We can really dive into the intricate politics of the Republic era and why it failed. I think
Oh,
that would be
let's do it.
Yeah.
McClunky, everyone. McClunky, and welcome to the long-running Star Wars podcast that we've been doing with Teddy for years and years. Today, my guest is Ebontis. I think he's a streamer or a YouTuber. I'm not sure what the difference is. Ebontis, how are we doing today? Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Sorry you guys are catching me on a bit of a rough day here. Went on vacation. I think I got something when I was on the way back, so I've been really under the weather. Like Monday and Tuesday, I literally just laid in bed. Like flu-like stuff. It was actually pretty terrible. I haven't been that sick in a while. It's 103 fever, kind of like fun moments. So all of that's been fun, and outside of that, had to work on some content, so tried to power my way through that today. But on the good side, I never played V Rising when it came out in early access, and it's been out for like 2 years. And then they did Gloomrod about a year back, and then 1.0 launched on Wednesday, but I got a chance to play it early, and I will say, after playing No Rest for the Wicked, I know Hades I have not jumped into, and it is killing me. Hades 2 early access is out there, and I really want to jump in because I know it's going to be fantastic. And then now this, like, early access, and I would say Baldur's Gate's probably one of the biggest examples too. Early access done well has started to net some very, very good games, and I'm thoroughly impressed with V Rising. Kind of a unique vampire survival, base building, like kind of crafting, upgrading, but also like the way the combat's done is, I don't have a good way to describe it. It's because it was a lot of mouse and keyboard for a while, so you would kind of like aim your attack for your spells and stuff a little bit, and then it was a little more deliberate combat, not quite like a Souls-like or anything like that, but it was definitely not just isometric and spammy, but it is that isometric angle, and just overall, like each boss fight's really cool. I got a chance to kind of jump into end game with a build they let me see. A really, really cool boss fight. Absolutely whooped my butt, even with end game gear. So I mean, it's a really, really cool game, and there's a lot that they've done very well in there, and they've fleshed it out. World's massive. I mean, this is early access game, finally in 1.0, but that 1.0's easy 50 hours that you could put in it. I mean, there's so much content there, and it's just fun. And the fact that it's a vampire and you're walking around in a world and you got the day-night cycle, when day is out, like when the sun's out, you have to be in shadows, so it's always this active thing, and then you'll be walking around at nighttime and then working your way through a camp, and then all of a sudden it's daytime and you're about to start, and you like almost start a boss fight, and then you're in the middle of a camp and it's open, and all of a sudden you have to try and find a place to hide, and the sunlight is terrifying because it will kill you very quickly. So it's this kind of like threat of the world. So it's a fun one. But
Well, that's a weird way to answer the question, how are you doing, as the guest on my show?
yeah,
But I'll take it, Ebontis. Thanks for being here.
I had to try and hijack my show.
What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh man,
There's only one wrong answer.
That's true. No, there's several wrong answers. Let's be honest, Teddy. Somebody tells you Attack of the Clones is their favorite Star Wars movie, run from that person. They have deep-seated psychological issues.
Yeah, but that movie actually has a plot.
Barely.
The other one doesn't.
Episode 1 doesn't even have a protagonist. There's no main character. Who is the main character of episode 1?
There isn't one. We've had the discussion.
Yeah, there isn't one. It's horrifying.
Either way,
special
episode
counts.
1 has
favorite.
Episode 1 has actually a very iconic song though, so I will give it that.
True.
Battle of the
No
Fates.
main character, but it has a song.
Yeah, it's like I like Battle of the Fates.
That's your favorite movie. Answers
Fates.
episode 1.
No.
You heard it here first, everyone.
Yes.
Ebontis is a Jar Jar stan.
I'm okay with that.
That's right. Did you guys see
No,
that,
actually, it's like I would probably say I love the lightsaber fight in 3. I just don't know if 3 is like my favorite, but I love the lightsaber fight in 3. It's one of the like coolest things to watch
Revenge of
for
the
all of
Sith.
Star Wars. Yes.
Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yep.
Mm.
And then
Yeah,
also
all the heroes.
Rogue One really surprised me. That was also very good.
Good movie.
Ooh.
Good movie. Great. Teddy. No,
Favorite Star
I
Wars
don't
movie?
want to. I don't want to talk to you yet. Cog,
Oh.
welcome to the show.
Thanks for having
What
me.
we like to do here on Teddy and Travis Star Wars special, or whatever it was that I named the show that I've already forgotten, is we
That
like
we've
to
been doing
bring
for
in
years.
people that we've been doing for years. What episode is this? 200 and let me check my YouTube real quick. 295. Wow.
Wow, you guys
That
are going
is-
strong. Wow.
We're going real
Yeah.
strong. We've talked about a
Consistency.
lot. So you think by now I would remember the name of the show, but I have short-term memory
So glad
loss.
to be here to show you don't remember.
What are you up to? Tell me how was your week? We haven't talked to you in what, 2 weeks now?
Yeah, man. I'm just honored to be back on the show. I know we would be considered the casual Star Wars audience. And, I'm trying my best to get up to speed. Obviously, Jedi Survivor and things like that. And Outlaws is exciting. I don't know how excited you guys about Outlaws.
I actually am. I mean, the pricing
Mhm.
model is a different discussion, but I want to play the
Yes.
game.
Yeah, how are we feeling about the, what is it, the Jabba the Hutt exclusive
130.
DLC mission?
I just
How
want
we
to
feel?
see that if it's really like broken down that you have to pay $130 to pay that to play that section right out of the gate. That's a weird business. That's a weird decision to like try and win any brownie points with the audience. It seems very,
It's
very
Ubisoft,
questionable.
bro.
I know.
is
They actually
their-
confirmed
their
that
thing.
What they confirmed?
Jabba's like part of the main
Story.
world and story because
It's
he's part of like the
one
criminal
mission.
underworld.
So
It's
one
one
mission
mission.
exclusive?
Yeah.
Okay,
It was
okay,
just
okay.
marketed
Yeah.
very poorly.
Poorly. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people who don't pay for that.
Did they
can't
talk to
access
Xbox
it.
when they
They
did
can
the
just
marketing
talk
stuff?
about
Is that what
Jabba.
happened?
Yeah, they sound like they consulting with Bungie now.
Don't
I thought they
insult them,
consulted with
Eve.
Xbox. I thought they
Listen,
consulted.
See, it's very eerily similar to another podcast I do.
Don't insult them, Ebontis. If it was Xbox marketing, that you wouldn't even know the game's coming
You
out.
wouldn't even know it
all
coming
right?
out.
Oh, okay. That's
So,
right.
very
That's right.
different.
I'm sorry.
Very
And
different.
we'd
okay?
announced it a week before they were going to
Yeah.
do some marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'd also make sure our CEO feels okay.
Yeah. Of course. You
Yeah,
gotta do
that part. But yeah. Yeah, but like I said, catching up with that, and some other games I've been trying. Ebontis recommended I finally get a chance to play Zao Tales of Consetta, and I finally
Good
started that. And very, very surprisingly, what I call the dance of the shaman between the mask and
I
sun.
still want to get him on the show.
Yeah, bro. Like
every interview I see
Reach
him
out,
with
he-
his, I mean, I've tried once, but I was like, I'll try
Yeah.
again.
Mhm.
Every time I see him, sorry to hijack for a second, it's
No,
just
please,
his
please.
energy. Whatever
Amazing.
show he is on, his energy is like amazing. I just sit there and like listen to him talk because he's so
Yeah.
genuine about this game. It's great.
Talk to him behind the scenes, working on something, trying to get him going. He's actually got a lot going on that's going to surprise a lot of people in other genres, I'll just say. But yeah, like I was very impressed. I think the long distance stuff with I believe it's the Sun of the Moon, and you're shooting the things.
Yep.
I think it opened it
Moon's
up for me.
ranged. Yeah.
Yeah, the ranged attacks, and then freezing stuff, like freezing the water, doing all that stuff. Then you have the sun, the Mask of the Sun, which I felt was more powerful, the double spear, a lot of power attack. But what it really started to click for me, I didn't know you can do instantaneous switching on the
Yep.
fly between the styles. So I was like, that's kind of cool. So yeah. And then other than that, is this little game, a very small game called Destiny. That it's just really
I hear
minute.
there's a
know
few
if
creators.
we have time, Travis.
There's a few creators I hear
Um,
that follow that.
You
but,
know, we
Yeah.
typically
Growing.
have the policy here at Teddy and Travis Star Wars Special where we try not to talk about mid-space operas that are vaguely based off of Star Wars, but nowhere near as good as it. So
Are there
I don't have time for
when
Destiny.
you so for space operas, are there certain Mass Effect games you will and will not talk about?
Oh,
no, we like all Mass Effect.
okay.
Yeah.
okay.
And
we
does
like
that
all Mass
include Andromeda on the record?
We
Oh.
do. Yeah. You got to talk about Andromeda because I don't know about you guys, but
I need
the
OG for
technology
this part.
the technology they had in that game where you could see through people's faces, I don't think has been replicated in any game since, you know. It was really you could see their eyeballs behind their
Were you
face
playing
skin.
Surgery Simulator or Mass Effect? I'm sorry. You
No.
said see through people's faces?
You guys didn't
Yeah,
get those
you,
bugs
you didn't
in
get those bugs in the
Andromeda?
beginning? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
people's faces would just melt off, and you could see like their eyeballs and all the
To me, it was the legs when
empty
they used to
space
also
behind their
run to
head.
the side and the left. That was
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
and their eyes looked dead. You guys remember that?
dead.
They actually
Oh, I thought
fixed
that was
that.
Starfield. Okay, no, never mind.
Starfield as well.
Yeah.
Starfield also has
Oh,
very
you
dead
can't
eyes.
deny that one, dude.
How dare you? We just put in a
No,
camera mode
Cog,
so you could go away from that. Damn it. We just put in a
Cog,
damn option so you don't have to see
And
it. Don't you
speaking of
come
the
for my
speak,
baby.
speaking
Don't
of
you come for my
mediocre
baby.
space operas,
He
talking
has
about
it on
Starfield.
hand.
Don't you come from. I'm one
First
of
of
those
all,
guys. I'm one of those.
I'm pretty sure
I really like
Starfield
it.
is a science fiction. I don't think it actually even counts
Hey,
as a space opera.
Starfield rounded out to be about a 7 out of 10. So
In
it
your
wasn't
opinion.
mediocre. It wasn't a 5.
In your opinion.
True.
Yeah.
I'll mess with you.
True.
But other than that, yeah, just little game, just called Destiny and some things going on in it. And
Did you play
you
the
know,
new multiplayer maps?
I have not. I have not played the multiplayer maps yet. I have played
Wow.
the new raid activity, Pantheon. I have played that. I know we got thoughts. Hopefully, we have thoughts later at Travis and Teddy's Star Wars Adventure
Yeah.
show.
We'll
Yeah,
just see
we'll
what
see.
they have on docket.
Yeah,
What's on
if it's
the
one of the
schedule.
bullet
see.
points on the notes that we didn't get.
If we've got time for it. Teddy, you haven't been on the show in, I believe, I'm checking notes real quick.
About
'Cause we
21
do the show every
episodes,
week.
probably, somewhere.
Almost 1 year.
Looks like 9 years you haven't been on the show, and I have a note here also.
So have you just been
that you
hosting a solo show for?
Even hosted by himself.
I have a note
My
here
name-
that
my name's in the
that
title,
you
too.
that you hate me and that you have been avoiding me and haven't
Yep.
been on the show. So
Yeah.
how have you been since the last time we saw you? And also, if you
A
could,
decade's a long time. So what you been up to?
if
man?
you could say something mean about Scarrow and work that into your explanation of how you've been, I would really appreciate it.
Mhm.
My hatred and anger towards you has only grown, and
Great.
I've let it consume me.
So
Classic
Okay,
Star
great.
Wars.
have you gone
Yeah,
over to
yeah.
the dark side now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Mhm.
I mean, obviously, I'm already working for the Imperials. So
Okay,
it's-
there-
it's-
Yeah.
yeah,
He's got his squares.
Um,
You got to get your
yeah.
squares, bro.
Yeah. I don't have anything negative to say about Scarrow. I'm sorry.
You don't.
No.
Okay.
No, he's just a good dude.
I've got a
Just,
lot
yeah.
of mean things to say about Scarrow.
But I
No.
still have appeared on the show more than him, despite not being on the show for a year. So take that.
Here's what I have to say about Scarrow. He looks like he is naturally drawn to drum circles.
I don't think he'd argue.
I'm betting that whenever Scarrow is on our podcast, there is a hacky sack somewhere that is bemoaning that it is not being kicked around by Scarrow.
Messy. Tipo Buelos.
Sorry. What games have you been playing, Teddy? Have you been playing Destiny? Do you still have every whatever?
I still have
What's the
max triumph score. I barely play since I got back from my trip in February, and the only game I'm looking forward to is Paper Mario 1000 Year Remake.
Ooh,
I'm gonna
okay.
play the living crap out of that for 2 weeks
That's your
until
joy.
final shape comes
That's
out.
what's up.
It's one of my favorite games of all time. But other than that, no, I have not really been playing games. I haven't had time. I've just been very busy.
Well, how is
A
the
lot of
titles
tech
getting
problems
done?
actually. April was a big tech problem month for Teddy.
Mm.
It's not fun.
Really?
Believe it or not, Travis,
Really?
I do have tech problems.
Wow,
I-
that's wild.
I have no
Yeah.
doubt that you have tech problems because your tech setup is insane, and that could only cause problems.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's fun. I do not have any tech problems. I'm a faultless god, as we've gone over many times on the show. All 294 episodes, I've worked that statement in somehow. This is what it would be like if I hosted a show, in case anybody's curious.
It was great.
Okay. All right. We will now stand for the national anthem.
Everybody just gets to look at Travis's crotch for
Yeah.
2 minutes and 12 seconds or something.
Oh man, so E, man.
What's up with me? Well, I
Look at you.
recently May is a very light month for game releases and game reviews.
Reviewing. What's
I don't
going
know
on?
how that's possible.
And
but
so
all right.
it's possible because all the games you know about that came out in early May, we reviewed in April. So in May, there aren't actually that many games coming out. In early June, there aren't that many games coming out because of all of the shows.
Summer Games
People
Fest
tend to
and
not
stuff.
release shows. People tend to not release games in the first 2 weeks of June because that's when all the conferences and E3, not E3 stuff
Except
happens.
Destiny and its final raid is doing it on the weekend
True.
of E3. I'm like, what?
Which is bizarre.
Why?
which is weird.
They have
but that
to do
is
it
not
for the
usual.
lore reasons.
Yeah.
I'm still a
But
little bit out of shape that
that
we have to rush that.
that is
Yeah, me
not
too.
usual, and so
Mhm.
IGN is doing a little bit of an experiment where we are re-reviewing old games that are still relevant to see how they've changed. And so Stardew Valley got a review this past week, and
Oh,
I was
I
assigned.
like this initiative.
76.
I think it's pretty cool. I was assigned Fallout 76, which I
Mm.
played about 120 hours of over the past 2 weeks. Just went absolutely crazy on it. I have not played that game since 2018 when I reviewed it.
Mhm.
I gave it a 4 out of 10, and I titled my review "Worst Virginia." And now I was diving back in to see how it has changed. And guys, as it turns out,
Best Virginia.
war does sometimes change.
Mm.
I gave it a 7 out of 10, which means it is now
Nice.
a good game. It went from being a bad game to a good game, and I would
Nice.
recommend it to people who are interested in playing some
Fallout.
nice old Fallout shoot up feels. It's got
Yeah.
some issues which you can read in my review. Obviously,
Gotta check it out.
I didn't give it. Some people are like, "Oh, it's the best game ever," and I would definitely disagree with that. But I think it is a very good game, and I think people should
Oh,
play
I
it
gotta
if they
check that
have a
out.
time.
You put that out there?
Especially if yeah, I
What's
put that out today.
I saw Stardew Valley got
If
one.
you if you're in the mood, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I've been working on, and now I'm on to my next review of Disney Dreamlight Valley, which I reviewed last year. Might have been last year, might have been 2 years ago. I think it was last year. But when I reviewed,
Did you guys lose him, or is that me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was me.
What
Oh,
Okay,
you
there you go.
faded.
He's
You
back.
like just you like buzzed
It
out
buzzed
for a
out for a
sec.
second. Now he's back. He's back. Okay.
One
Cool.
sec. Let me check
Okay.
Let me change the server. Just put it Central
Oh.
US. Just to.
okay,
There we go.
that work?
Let's see if that helps for everything.
Yeah, he's good.
Anyway, I'm re-reviewing Disney Dreamlight Valley, which I already reviewed when it was in early access, and now it's got a whole bunch of new content, and the game has been developed more, and so I'm going to check it out and see how it is, which I've already put some serious time into.
Nice.
I can't talk about the other stuff I'm working on, but I've got some cool stuff in the pipe, and I've also been playing Hades 2, which is
Nice.
fantastic.
So jealous.
Amazing, great game. I cannot believe it's in early access. I feel like it's not actually in early access, and they're just stunting on us. That's what it feels like to me. But it is extremely good. My first run, I got to the third boss on the third world, which is cool. So I've seen quite a bit of it. I'm excited to play more. It's a good game.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I don't have time for these early access games that were already reviewed because I got to do my own stuff. I have not played the 3 new Crucible maps, and it is bothering me. I saw that they came out. Was it yesterday?
Yes.
Tuesday?
Yesterday.
And I keep seeing people talk about them, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that. But I had to get that Fallout 76 review out the door, and it was pretty. I was rushing to get it out as soon as possible before people stopped caring about Fallout again. So we got it out there. But yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Nice.
And the best Star Wars movie is.
What's the best Star Wars movie?
It changes for me, to be honest.
Ooh.
Year to year, I love most Star Wars. The vast majority of it, I really love. But I would say the best Star Wars movie is Return of the Jedi.
Oh,
today.
that's mine. I was just
Yeah.
okay, I
like Return of the
if I was gonna be
Jedi.
judged.
I like Palpatine. I like
too.
a lot of that movie. I don't mind the Ewoks. A lot of people hate it because of the Ewoks,
Oh,
and
yeah,
I'm
I
like,
don't
you know
mind.
what?
No, I mean
Ewoks
yeah.
are kind of cool.
Mhm.
Warwick Davis, bro. Got to give a shout out to our boy.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, next up in Star Wars talk with Teddy and Travis, we're gonna go over the Destiny TWAB for some reason. I don't know why we're doing that. How are we doing? What are we doing?
It's your show,
What are we
man.
doing?
You're running this thing.
All right. In that case, how's your sex lifey? Let's go. Is it my show or is it not my show?
You better take it back now. You know how he do it. Oh! Grand opening, grand closing. Yo, he hit the button on the board. That was easy. It was moving. Oh damn! You got canceled. We can't. I was ill. I ain't going front. I never did. Or he had it in him. The
I didn't think he'd do it.
formerly
I was
known
waiting.
as.
I was like, he's not gonna do this. Is gonna go on for 2 hours.
What's crazy is if you can't fix it back. He's in the chat. At long last, I am free. Yo, that was great. I bet they think he had it. He's like, boy, man, former Thai guy for our local Thai fighter. Oh man. So, yeah. Hopefully, while we figure out Thai guy's contractual status,
Look at me. I'm the Thai guy Travis now.
You're Thai guy Travis.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got an empty chair. That was great. Oh my god, y'all funny today.
For those
Y'all
who
big funny.
didn't watch this on video, you probably should check it out.
Yes, you should. Classic.
And if you guys are
classic
watching
moment.
this on video, thank you. If you're catching the archive, whether it's audio or video, I do upload the videos to a separate YouTube channel. So if you guys want to find that, I will try and post like a community post, Twitter post. I'll probably put it in a few places, but there's a separate YouTube channel for the archives. Just kind of helps my main channel. That's the main reason.
Are you gonna be there? Yeah, we're going through cutbacks and we had to lay off some
Yeah,
co-hosts.
we had to lay off
It's
a
a tough time.
co-host.
Tough time right now.
All right. Well,
We'll
I
come
just
back
got
to
word that my other show was canceled. So I guess I'm gonna have to be on this Destiny show because
Hey, welcome.
295 episodes. We had a good run, but Star Wars Talk with Teddy and Travis is officially no longer. Xbox decided that although we were their most beloved show that they had, that it still wasn't enough.
Award-winning show.
So, award-winning show.
Award-winning.
Award-winning.
Yes, definitely award-winning. Critically acclaimed.
Phil
Was
Spencer,
it an Emmy
I'm
or
sorry
what
to
you guys
disappoint
win?
you, sir. I believe we won a Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award
Nice.
for Best Kiss.
I thought it was like an MTV popcorn bucket.
No, all I know is that when I received my award, I was slimed. So
Oh, okay.
that's all I know.
Are you
Maybe
sure
not
it was, Are you sure it
Nickelodeon,
was
maybe-
slime?
It might have been just Harvey Weinstein giving me a gift card. I don't
You're
really.
about to get kicked off of this show too.
Hey, I got you. No, okay, that's not a super chat, but it's a member. I don't know. Does that get you money? I don't know how this works.
Yes.
Justice
Robert
for
Jones with the
Travis.
membership for 2 months. Justice for Travis. Thank you, Robert, with the membership.
Thank you. Thank you. This
man.
movement clearly is destined to die on arrival. I'm very excited for that.
Okay, well, we'll bring back the show in 2 years, and it'll be like a special episode. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good call. Yeah,
See,
I
what's
hear that
going on
does
in this
numbers
game?
for your metrics.
Yeah, huge. What's going on with this game, E? What's happening?
I don't even know how to.
How do you
For one,
follow
talking
up?
is fun. Ugh.
Yes.
Like that weird scratch on my throat, but it's a weird type. So I was gone last week on vacation. So I missed out on seeing Pantheon, which launched last week. So I haven't actually had a chance to play it at all yet because the new Pantheon, which I was going to possibly jump into, I was half alive trying to recover yesterday. So who's played Pantheon last week or this week? And if you have, we got a cog first. How is Pantheon? What's it like? What's going on in there? What's the drops? Like, come on, give us the rundown. What'd you think?
Very, very interesting. I was intrigued because as a person who likes to raid, but I was like, I know I don't really do like the master raids a lot and stuff like that. So I guess I was concerned on the point of entry, how difficult would it be for me? And I told the guys, I was like, all right, you may have to put me on ad duty on a couple of things just till I get my bearings and get the right loadouts and not hold up the team at first. But I'm on my own. Shout out to Holloway. What's up, man? Yeah, so I think what it is I think first encounter was Golgoroth, if I remember. And what I noticed off the top, obviously the powers difference a little bit, but I did notice there's like little variants they added, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. So as far as like the enemy density, and then as far as like enemy types, there were a little bit of stronger enemies, so all stronger adds at the top level while the gaze people are doing their thing. And then the thing that I thought was interesting, which was a new little mechanic, was they put, normally when you get in the pool, thing. It's like, yo, who got the unstable light? Get out, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. Now it was like 2. So we had to be communicate more, a little bit, be more cognizant, but it wasn't too bad. So I'm like, all right, first stop. Second stop, I believe was no, it was what other, and then it was planets. All I know is what was the second one?
Caretaker.
Caretaker, which is one of my favorite fights. Honestly, I've always liked Caretaker involved Disciple for whatever
What
reason.
is your role in that fight? I'm gonna wonder why you like it so much.
I like it only because I can actually do 2 roles where you distract, the guy shoot the back and don't let him get up the steps. Right? I usually either good at that or I'm good at left side. I am not good at jumping in that room and getting
I'm
the
always
stairs.
doing that.
God bless you guys. You guys are the real MVPs.
Yeah.
You guys going
That's
in
why
that
you
room,
like that encounter, because
Yes,
we're always like,
bro, and the call outs and the thing. And
yep.
So yeah, that part I was like, okay, thank God I ain't got to do that. I'll do any role except.
I love the hallway. The
You
hallway's
like
great.
that one? You like that?
Oh,
You
yeah.
like the symbol call because you get to see. You're like DJ. This is where you guys get to have fun. You get to do weird call out names. You get to do like all your fun stuff with the all the symbols.
You know what it is that if I'm doing a raid encounter and I'm just shooting things, I get so
You get
bored and
bored, yeah.
distracted
Yeah.
that I forget the mechanics. So then when I actually have to do something, I'm like, ah, shit, I
Yeah.
totally forgot we're
Totally
doing
get
that.
it. Totally get it.
I was just working on my stand-up routine and completely forgot that I'm supposed to be doing something.
DJ was doing that for us because he's jumping in there. He's making his own names for signs and we're making the group laugh. So we're like, okay, cool. So my thing is keep everybody alive. Oh, shout out to Boots of Assembly. I am the real MVP for keeping everybody alive because I can stand in and I can shoot all that stuff in Lumina and keeping people going. So they love me and I'm giving y'all 30% extra damage on DPS.
35.
Now, what I get 35.
Did you just congratulate yourself?
Yes, I'm congratulating me as the
Okay.
support
Okay.
player.
I just
yes,
want
for
to
sure.
make
Sure.
sure.
And
I just need a
congratulate me.
whiteboard, and I need to just put up how many of our hosts today are just so modest. So far, we have
Yeah,
2 today.
super humble. I'm
2
super
today,
humble.
very humble and modest.
Absolutely.
We're all
And I'm
modest. We're all fully clothed that you know of.
that you know of.
Oh yeah, I mean
So
it's a bottomless party in here, but that's a different story.
Donald
gonna
ducking
move
it. You are
We-
sick.
Donald Duck.
He's got a bucket right out of view.
Yeah.
we
Good.
gonna move on. So what like I was saying, the other
I mean, I
thing
was
that-
on a Disney cruise, so
That's true. Oh, that's how you got sick, is you went on one of those diarrhea boats. That's fun,
Ridiculous.
man. I'm happy for you.
ridiculous. Anyway,
fun story at the end. I'll tell you guys.
what I do like was the variation with the burns, as far as like, okay, not like we had to use void and strand weapons to get the extra DPS. As far as that, I love the class item usage that gives like that little. Oh, I like the modifiers. It forces diversity in your lineup. Because let's be honest, we're gonna take mostly the same things to nuke these bosses, and now it adds that in addition to this extra channel. Now I will say when things went spooky for us. When we got the planets.
What is that? Explicator? What is his name?
Yeah.
can't
What it
quite
is when you're in a room with people that everyone has their own system and the way they do it, we had to iron out the kinks. And I will say the ad density in the middle of the room was really intense. And the only thing that worked for me, and shout out to Sinners for making me change, because I had to humble myself. I wasn't doing my job to get people over to those plates. First of all, 2 things that I never really realized. Well, in the middle between, so that people dip in, dip out, and then do DPS. The other thing was, I got to shout out Tusker the boy, yo. I don't know if y'all got it with chain reaction. And
I got it with chain and
bro,
Yeah.
it is amazing in that room. I literally made it clear so everybody could go get their things across and so on and so forth. So that was that. And then the last thing was Atrax. And I mean, he was, to be honest, he was a pushover for us. Like we had I think they had 4 Titans, then they thunder crashed the hell out of them. It was the Titans. It was your day for H. We got him out of there. And I will say the 2 things the final thing I'll say. I wanted to know how I like the little transition they do between encounter. It's like a little fade out, phase in. It's like you're teleporting between each encounter. And then the last thing, extremely rewarding. Red borders were dropping like crazy. At the end of it, also adept weapons. Some adept weapons were dropping.
Really?
And at the end of I got a Harrowed. Shout out to Ares. T Crash Worm. Yep, that was it. I got a Harrowed Zalo's Bane with what you call it, explosive and incandescent.
Oh, you're good.
Um, and
Yeah, you're
and now for
fine.
people that like myself who have been extremely unlucky, I never got a touch of malice. For as much as I've done King's Fall, you had the option at the end, touch of malice, Eyes of Tomorrow. So it
But you
really
can just pick.
there's a thing at the end. There's a chest that drops regularly, and then it's like the robot. It's Shax's. Oh, I gotta shout out to Shax. Shax is all over this thing. Like if you're doing
Mm.
bonuses and you're killing multiple enemies, it's almost like remember when we used to have strike scoring and nightfalls back in the day in D1? So any type of ad clearing and things that you're doing is helping. He's like, forever guardian, came on. Like he during the raid, like
Just
Shax is
full
commentating.
on. That's awesome.
Yeah, full on and extra Shacks, like super over the top saucy Shacks. So yeah, and then at the end, yeah, you get to pick. So I was able to finally get Touch of Malice. So that's where I'm at. Overall review is good. It's a hardcore activity, but I like it so far. I haven't tried it this week, so I'll defer to Teddy if he's actually done the new one just yet, or just played the original one.
Well, I know this week adds Oryx, so I'm curious to see what Teddy thinks about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a lot of what Cog said. Like I actually really enjoyed it. Surprisingly, I thought it was going to be kind of a whatever activity, but the minor changes that they did to each encounter, it kind of feels like what a master raid should have been. And
yeah, they haven't
good
added
point.
mechanics in so long, right?
Good point.
Yeah, my guess is that this is probably an experiment to maybe for future raids to do additional mechanics versus just adding a champion and making it unnecessarily difficult.
Mhm.
Like it feels fair for the most part. In particular, I think the Oryx fight is very well done.
Oh, you did the new one.
Yeah,
So
I've
who
done
they
this one.
add? Is it? Can I stop because I got a quick question. So it's the same 4 from last week in addition to now how
Yes,
many more to
yes.
Oryx?
Just Oryx, yeah.
Okay,
And then
gotcha.
next week will be they'll add Rolk. So it'll be Oryx and then Rolk, and then the final week they're adding Riven and Nezarec.
I wonder if we're gonna have to do Riven legit.
That's what people are speculating because of the way scoring works. But it's hard to tell because the way the scoring functions with the triumphs, it's kind of weird. But overall, I actually really enjoyed the activity. It's kind of one of like the few things in Destiny it's actually challenging. Like it's not, you need to go in with the right setup and the right team. Like you can't, which is why the LFG community is such a peeve about it because they're like, oh, I can't do it with random people. It's like, of course you can't do it with random people. It's you can't add clear. Like you have to. Everyone's got to do something. Yeah, so I enjoyed it. For our team, like even 10 power under this week, it doesn't seem too bad. But I'm curious to see how under 20 power is going to work on the final week. I think that might actually be quite difficult. But as long as you're spec correctly, it seems like most bosses are 2-phase, and there's some bosses you can 1-phase. So it's not bad. Like it's fun.
And the timer there's also a timer for the platinum score that gives extra rewards, right? For
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a platinum score and completing it under the par time, which is usually doing it in 2 phases. And there's 2 separate triumphs associated with doing both of those things, and that's tied to the title and all that. So yeah, it's a fun thing. I don't know why it's going away. To me, that seems very odd.
Know.
But yeah, I'll take the win. It's something at least.
I feel you. And I guess my final question, you had how did you guys deal with they had some the little changes. So for example, like with planets, they had the Tormentor come out at that certain part.
Yeah, so the fire. So for example, on planets, the fire
on
the platforms, we figured out pretty quickly that if you just stand on that center thing on that platform, the fire can't touch you. So we just stood there, and then the Tormentor, when it would spawn, the 2 people that were in the middle that were clearing ads, they had their own strategy for nuking it super fast. And then we were trying to help if we weren't doing the mechanic. It wasn't too bad. I've been told you can actually ignore the Tormentor and he despawns. Yeah.
That's right.
I don't know if that worked, but
where does he spawn in the room?
He just spawns in the middle.
Yeah. So during the DPS phase, your man he tried to stop you from getting to the place.
I mean, like, is it the type who can pick you up still though?
Yeah. It's a finishable one and a blindable one, but
finishable is a different type. Then I gotcha.
Yeah, they still do all the same mechanics of the ones.
Mini boss, not a boss.
Yeah, I kind of like the memes the community has made where it's like, oh, we've reinvented this encounter and we've done a couple new things, and then it's just like, I'll throw a Tormentor in there. That'll really spice it up.
That's very Travis development cycle.
Like we didn't do this on Atrix, but we'll probably have to do it next week and the fourth week. Apparently, you can run them into the airlock, and you can just eject them into space.
Stop.
Nice.
Yeah.
Stop.
So if he's like too hard to kill, or if he gets in the way, that's a viable strategy. I don't know. We just ignored him for the first 2 weeks. We didn't. You don't have to even kill him.
Nice.
But overall, it's something. It's a low effort activity that Bungie made that's fun and it works, and it's super rewarding for people that don't have all the red borders or missing exotic. Like my brother doesn't really grind red borders because he plays the game basically when new things come out and he stops, and he was getting one every single encounter at the end and stuff. So
I really need to get in there.
And the spoils, E.
Yeah,
And
spoils.
I
too,
don't
yeah,
have spoils. I left the first joint like 120 spoils. Like, so for a guy that never got Taraba, this is going to be big for me. I think I can get it off the shelf eventually.
Yeah, it's a really good catch-up mechanic, and I'm not 100% certain on this, but one of my clanmates was saying that you can select the difficulty now after the first week. So
I
you can go
assumed,
back
you could go back and do the first and second.
Yeah, you can just play the first week. So if you're just you just want your red borders and your exotic, and you're not really looking for the triumphs, then just go do it. So yeah.
Nice, cool. Yeah. Trav, does it interest you a little bit at all? Any Pantheon? You're a raid guy?
Yeah, I want to do it. I just have been busy, and also it's kind of a lot, right? You have to get a group together that's down for like a kind of lengthy activity, especially if you fail and have to start over.
Like, how long is this steady run?
I mean, I speak with Teddy because he's the efficient one.
We were going about an hour, and
yeah, he's super.
I think the only encounter we really struggled on was planets, but it wasn't any like serious mess ups. It was just kind of like, we had the wrong call out or something because the people that were swapping had not played together before, so they had different call outs, and so it's minor stuff. So as long as you're able to correct the mistakes quickly, I think it's about an hour and a half activity.
Yeah, we hit about 2.5 hour mark. Planets would definitely breezed through everything.
2.5.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
We breezed through everything. Just planets did have us a little discombobulated for a little bit until I think
people in general struggle with that one.
Like,
even outside Pantheon, like people struggle with that encounter.
I agree. It's what you said, Trav. What it is, we had two sets of people who had their own way of doing it, their own way of call outs, and then we were figuring, okay, that's where the failure is happening, and then it's like, okay, guys, let's do this, and then it eventually got solved. So yes. But other than that, that was pretty much it. Everything else was kind of.
I do want to do it though, to answer your question. Yeah. I need to find time and a team, and I'll probably wait until the end too.
Until all of them.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know, the cool emblem I already missed, didn't I? Or is it still up?
I think you can go get them.
First one.
You just choose. You can get them. Yeah, you can go get them all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you literally can't just wait.
The triumphs.
Yeah.
Aries, Trav. Trav. Aries said he got you. Holloway.
I'll hop in with them. Yeah.
I just gotta feel better, so I will get to it, but definitely want to. I need to.
You're never gonna feel better, man. This is the beginning of the end. It's all downhill.
Well,
thanks for
I'm glad you're practicing your hosting duties to take over, so we can make it to 300. Man. I appreciate that. I've only got weeks left here, so you guys will help.
I'm done.
He's dying of one of those 18th century ailments, the
flu.
Messy.
Consumption. He's dying of consumption.
My God.
Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, from what I've gathered, people have been having a good time with it. It seems like a good challenge. I was watching Fallout yesterday while I was half awake just to kind of see what was going on, and they were on Oryx. And then all of a sudden it was like the knights that kept spawning over and over. And then there was the double Oryx shade in there. And I was like, all right, that's, keeping people on their toes. It's like not too much. And I know the Tormentors are kind of like, all right, we don't know what to do here. Tormentors, what that feels like kind of sometimes. But the Oryx one with like the knights that were like, hey, there's another one. There's a third one. I was like, okay, so they're keeping everybody busy and like, it's not just like night board. It's more of an active fight. And then the double shades will definitely kind of takes longer. More people are going to get in the bubble kind of thing. It's just, and I'm kind of wondering when you get to the -20, how that's going to feel, because when you start having to deal with the knights and then the ogres and you got double shades coming in, all that stuff adding up together. And there's a tormentor at the end of the Oryx one, right? Like down at the end, he spawns
Yeah, he
before
spawns
DPS.
where the flag is.
I'll be
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's every side gets multiple knights now. I think it's four knights. So you really like the person on the play really needs to be paying attention. Double shades. If you get the bomb phase, I think the bombs don't stop when you kill the knights, but I'm not certain on that. We got double shades, so I'm not exactly sure on that. And then torment responds as well.
Wow.
Before DPS phase.
Before DPS, while you in the thing?
So,
yeah, right in the little bubble.
He spawns when you kill the knight that has the aura. I think that's when he spawns. So you have to kind of you can either ignore him, but he kind of gets in your way. We use Black Spindle, and none of us had surge mods on. And if we had surge mods on, he's one phaseable, like pretty easily one phaseable. But you need the catalyst, you need field.
Need the catalyst, you need field prep.
Whisper with like 30 shots.
Oh, you guys are super optimal. Who's this A team you running with, Chad? What's going on? Oh, this is precision. This is what I like when I run with Teddy. You get that utmost precision run, that premium experience. I gotta start running with Teddy.
There's the thing. You can run with the buds and kind of work your way through it. And then you like all of a sudden you go run with a team like Teddy has, and he's like, "Hey, I got a spot. You want to run a raid?" I'll be like, "Okay." You're done in like 22 minutes. You look down. Nobody like batted an eye. Like not one hair is out of place. And you're just like, "Wait, what happened?" They give you a hot towel at the end. It's crazy. Like it is the smooth raiding teams are like that's. I know why people do it when raids are that smooth because man.
Beautiful thing.
That's why you get those aggressive LFG posts. You know what to do. Must go quick. Must know what to do. Must have this loadout. Because everybody wants to get that type of raid thing going, and it's not something you can LFG for. I don't think.
Unpopular opinion. When you get the super gatekeepy LFG posts, it goes one of two ways, and it's always one of two
ways.
They're
terrible sometimes.
You get the extreme people who are really freaking good, and they just want a clean run, and you basically just need to hold your own and not do anything silly. Or you get the people that are trying to look for a carry, and that's usually the more common of the two.
Wow.
It's people who are looking for a carry and watched a YouTube video and think they can do it, but don't actually know. They don't have like the experience or skill, frankly, to get it done.
And in my experience, pretty like if you join one of those posts, within like a few wipes, you'll usually know what group you're in, and at that point, it's like, all right, I'm leaving. Like if it's still ladder.
Well, I've joined groups that were like, hey, if we wipe once, I'm disbanding the group. Like that, or it's just like you have to get it on your first run, or they just boot everybody and they start over.
Wait, is that toxic out in these streets, Travis?
That's a real thing. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, and I've had it go both ways. I've had it go where it's like, well, I'm not worried, dude, and then we'll clear it our first try, and I'll be like, hey, that guy was an asshole, but he lived up to the hype, And then there's other times where, he'll be the worst one, and then when he disbands the group, I'll message everybody else in the group and be like, hey, let's just find one more and do it, and then we'll do it on like our second try without that guy, and I just like,
Yo, Chad, one thing. I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. I got a funny thing to say after you said.
I was just gonna say the good thing about the toxic posts is usually the person posting it is like a bad person and oftentimes not good, but the people that are brave enough to respond to that type of post and join, they usually can walk the walk, and so you can meet people who respond to that post, but usually not the poster.
And not the poster themselves.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing about Destiny, the game within the game of Destiny, to me, always has been the DPS check post failure. I think that is the funniest thing in gaming, because you got the people who put up the obnoxious posts and say, bro, you better, you this. And then you look at the numbers of who actually is not putting out. I think it's the funny thing, minus the Divinity guy, we know. But it's just hilarious.
Yeah, but sometimes the Divinity guy is there for a reason. And you know what I mean? That's the
Hey,
that's
we
the
got to do our job.
hiding.
We got to do our job, Travis. You gotta let me shoot the thing at the thing to help the team.
If you're not hot swapping rockets while divving, are you divving correctly? Like come on.
Look, man, I'm trying to get a little extra DPS in there with a can, brother.
Yeah. Honestly, the hardest part about divving is both of your slots, your special and your heavy, you just can't use.
Yeah.
And so the hardest part is actually non-DPS when you're just trying to survive with your
with
kinetic. That's
I
it.
will.
That's
I
all
will.
you get. That's the
Yeah,
hard part.
I actually flip it on its head, and I go almost. I use my heavy like a primary because I'm like I'm really never gonna get a chance to use it.
That's how
Then you
do it.
So
can't. Then you can't hot swap while you're diving.
true, but usually I
Yeah.
use a machine gun. But to your point, if I want to be optimal, yes, I would only be using my kinetic if being optimal, like you said, because most people are hot swapping and doing bait and switches and all this other stuff.
We just
So, yeah.
canceled Ebontis too.
Yeah,
so,
Gonzalez Kansas. So
yeah.
so we got that going on, and what else
So
is
really,
going
episode 8 is the best.
What if we
movie,
just
right?
wrapped up the show while he was gone? Like, all right, guys, I think that's it. I think we covered all the important stuff. Let's we'll see you next week, and until next time,
Until next time.
Guardians out. I don't know the last word.
So we
Then
can
just
talk
dip.
about while he's gone. We can't talk about the apparently they did some playtest previews of each of the prismatic subclasses, which is the Hunter and Titan. And I don't know if you got a chance on the site to check. I saw the Warlock one, but I don't know if anyone got a chance to see any of them. And Teddy,
I
since you're
watched
shaking
all
it.
of them.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what's your thoughts on prismatic? Yeah, we haven't talked to you since Final Shape. How you feeling about prismatic
Yeah.
and this whole thing?
I'm not really sold on Prismatic in general, even with these previews. Initially, first of all, I'm not gonna be a Debbie Downer here.
Mhm.
However, Bungie's really good at marketing.
Oh,
So
for sure. Good point. That's fair.
anytime they
That's
announce
fair.
some cool thing, I'm immediately like skeptical hat comes on. It's like, all right, how's it actually going to work? What are you not telling me, or what are you trying to hide from me? Because look,
I see why
been
you and
down this-
Travis are friends.
we've been down this road for 10 years. That's what they do every single time. I'm sure it'll be fun.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be great. But I need to know the nitty-gritty details. And when they release these videos, as well as with the how the exotic class items are working on the TWAB today, it got a little bit toned down from how they described it in the reveal, which I'm
Okay.
fine with. I understand. I'm not upset. But I was hoping we get a third darkness subclass.
Okay.
And this is cool. I don't know. I'm not super sold on Prismatic just yet.
Okay.
It seems like a way for them to kind of combine things that already exist in the game rather than making something new. And Bungie's always been very good at that. But I want something new. Like I need the game to change, and maybe this will deliver on that. I don't know. I haven't.
No, that's fair.
Haven't
That's
experimented.
fair.
The actual previews they showed on the TWAB kind of gave us some real gameplay. It wasn't this like super hyper edited, focus thing like the gameplay
Right.
review. So it kind of showed like how it would work more day to day with the super awkward commentary that probably wasn't actually live commentary while they were playing. Yeah, the E3 commentary as I call it.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Let's go and look over there. That'll be fun. Yeah, let's go. Yeah, they do that. In the
Yo, I hate that dude.
I hate when.
Oh my gosh! Look at this. I found a new shotgun. That's cool. You should equip that.
Yo, you're doing it so well, bro. I hate that dude. That dude. And I listen to trailers and stuff. The quote unquote lie. Oh yeah, don't get me started. Continue.
Yeah, so this was kind of our first look at like really the new UI as well for the buffs and debuffs, where we could actually like look at it in real time rather than this hyper edited environment. So yeah, I think that was more interesting to me than the prismatic stuff, because that's just been a huge pain point in Destiny since the beginning essentially. Prismatic seems very powerful, and I'm really curious how they're going to handle it.
Yeah,
as far as balancing and stuff, and they showed it in PvP, which I'm glad they did that. The Hunter one in particular just looks really good.
Bro.
Of course, being a Naruto ninja teleporting to your kunai is kind of silly, but
yeah.
I think the thing that more people are talking about is I think it was in the Titan video. They were doing a Nightfall, and the objective was like something with Armkara bones or something. And I think that people were more interested in that than actually the prismatic subclass. So
okay.
But yeah, Final Shape, I'm gonna play it. I'm excited, but I'm also like, are you gonna land the ship, or is it gonna be?
You're tired.
I'm very tired. My biggest concern since they announced Final Shape, like way back, was is this going to be like an anime where we defeat the witness but actually there's an end card teaser where it's like, oh, there's really another villain in the background, he was been controlling the witness the entire time? Or is it going to be a definitive end? And Bungie's track record says that it will not be a definitive end, because that's what they do. They always have like a teaser of some sort at the end. It's like, there's another thing
we're
out
gonna
there.
kill the witness, and then all of a sudden, it's gonna hand over to Majin Buu, right?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what they do. And so I just want it to be a definitive end to the story. Like, it's great we're having these like other stories that are happening afterward that are going to tie up some loose ends. But like, I need it to end, at least the story. Like, I just need it to end. Like, this is end game ending. There's no teaser at the end. Nothing. Like, that's
all
it.
right. No, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't think they're going to do that, but we'll see.
Question based on your hope, right? So then, if you get the definitive end, because we do know they're doing episodes after this, right? So I guess my question for you, because we haven't talked to you in a while, is like, so do you want a D3? Do you want it just to continue? Like, what's your thought process on how do they continue to transition? Because it's clear that it's going to be more after this story. So how do you want them to transition after?
Yeah, so I think a D3 or some version of a sequel needs to happen, where it's a reset. Like, I think that needs to happen at this point, because the original vision when Activision was still there was they were supposed to get a game every 2 years, and then Bungie said we can't do that, so then they changed it to 3 years.
Right.
And then the 3 year was supposed to be the reset, and that's why in Beyond Light, where Destiny 3 should have come out, quote unquote, they kind of did the sunsetting and they reset everything, and that was sort of that was like basically a soft reset for Destiny 2. Like, everything before that in Destiny 2 effectively like might as well have been another game, and you can't even go play it for the most part. So I think they do need to do that, but I'm curious whether my theory is after Final Shape there's the 3 episodes, which is going to take us into 2025. Marathon will probably come out in 2025, they haven't said that. And then my guess is another 3 episodes will come out, because I think Final Shape is the final expansion for Destiny 2. They haven't explicitly said that. And then probably Destiny 3 or whatever next Destiny thing is 2026, because if you're looking at like the way investor stockholder stuff works, and that with Sony basically managing all that for them and them meeting their sales goals, like that would business wise would make sense, as they would do it like that. I'm just speculating. I don't know. I don't have any inside info or anything like that, and I hope they do a reset, but I think Destiny 2 just needs to kind of be done.
Yep.
Like, it's clear that they're having a hard time
And the
with
Darkness
innovation
and Light
and
saga.
Yeah.
I actually have more faith that it will be a proper end, Teddy, because I do feel like, I feel like if I were on the Destiny team making story, I would feel like I backed myself a little bit into a convoluted kind of bad story. And that doesn't mean you can't tell good stories in the future. It just means that almost nobody working on Destiny right now, especially on the narrative team, was there when they were designing the story originally, right? It's just a completely different team. And so if I'm coming in and I'm saying, hey, I have to make a good story out of this, I would get pretty exhausted by that pretty quick, and eventually want to be, look, I kind of want to finish this story and then tell a different story in this universe. And so I could see them doing a much harder ending than you're thinking, like an end to the way we think of Light and Darkness and the Traveler. And I think all that's going to be, the whole Gardener versus
Winnower.
Darkness, the Widower. I think all that's going to be done. They're going to wrap up some way, and it might not be good. That's where I have less confidence, is in the actual story being good. But I could see them just being like, look, we're done with all that. We're going to have a little transitionary period, and then Destiny 3 is going to be about something else. It's going to have a different story, a different bad guy, and I don't think it's going to be like, oh, this was the person that was related to the Darkness at all. If I were on the narrative team, I would be trying to get away from that crap as soon as possible to go and tell something else.
You want the Ooga Booga controlling it all along? Is the Ooga Booga?
Yeah, because, this is like, there are some stories that I think really lend themselves to that model of like, well, it would actually be cool to know. Like, one of the questions we never got answered, to bring back up Mass Effect, is like, if Andromeda was about a bad guy that you found out built the original Reapers, that's kind of cool, because somebody built the Reapers, right?
Right.
So there's like a cool thing where you could kind of expand the lore and it makes sense. I just don't think the darkness and the light has that same parallel. To me, it's almost like biblical how long it goes back. It's kind of like its own mythology, you
Mhm.
know? And I don't know that you can be like, oh, it was actually Jason Momoa being the bad guy like you would be in Fast and Furious. It works in Fast and Furious, but it doesn't work, I don't think, with Destiny. So I have more faith that they're going to have a hard reset. I think,
Mm.
you know, once you get to Lightfall and you kind of see that stuff, I would be begging for a fresh piece of paper. You know what I mean?
Mhm. I'm with you.
Two things.
Please.
They've been very careful. If you've been kind of reading between the lines and like how they've talked about the witness, they've been very careful to not conflate the witness with the darkness.
True.
Mhm.
They are two separate things.
Mhm.
The witness uses the darkness, and presumably the traveler uses the light and isn't necessarily the light, but we don't actually know that one for certain. But the way
Mhm.
they've spoken about the witness is that he is not, it is not the darkness.
Right.
So I'm curious if when we presumably defeat the witness, either in the
Mhm.
raid or whatever
The
happens
raid
in the campaign,
seems heavily implied.
if that is the quote unquote end of the darkness, or if that's just us basically.
I don't think it'll be the end of the
I don't
darkness
think so
because
either.
I agree with you,
yeah,
Trav.
Yeah.
but I think it'll be the endless. What the one thing they have said explicitly is that it's the end of the darkness and light saga.
Yep.
And so in my mind, we defeat the thing that is using the darkness. We, I don't know if the traveler's going to die or if we're going to, it's going to reach at apotheosis or whatever. But something's going to happen with the traveler. I think by the end, both of the major factions that are controlling it are gone, and I think we are the custodians of both the darkness and light, and then they can just stop talking about it.
Yep.
That's how I feel it. It's like
That's
it's
how I
still going to be
feel.
part of the universe. To me,
Yep.
they're like elements of the universe. It's like
Yeah.
earth and wind and fire.
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
that thing. But I don't think they're going to be like, oh well, they're owned by this evil creature and this good creature, and they're kind of like these cosmic forces battling each other. I think it's going to be like we wield both, and we'll meet opponents that also wield,
Mhm.
darkness or light or whatever that you
Yeah.
interact with it in certain ways. But I don't think it's going to be like this ancient enemy, or at least not the same ancient enemy. It might be something new. I'd love to see them just introduce a whole new story
Yeah.
and faction and start to like get into like what is the Guardians next, what is humanity's next big
Mhm.
battle or confrontation.
Agreed.
And I think they will do that. I don't know why. It just I have this feeling
Oh,
that they're kind of
yes.
exhausted by this, as
Little
exhausted as I
little
am.
cog running off. This is too positive for you.
I agree with all of that. The second thing that I was going to bring up is that kind of what you were alluding to with the light and darkness being like these forces that exist in the universe, and it's not necessarily that the witness or the traveler are like the light and the darkness. Destiny has a lot of parallels to the TV show Lost, in particular how they handle the light and darkness. Like it's almost uncanny how similar it is. So I feel like they must
It's
have
a
been inspired by
prequel.
that. Yeah. And they're exploring a lot of the same themes with a lot of the same plot threads and a lot of the same explanations for how these things work, which is why I think the witness is not necessarily the darkness. Just like in the show, the darkness is well, I don't want to spoil it, even though it's a 15-year-old show at this point.
Don't
But
spoil Lost, okay?
yeah,
J.J. Abrams at his best. I don't know.
the first episode, yes.
Oh, the first.
Yeah, the pilot for Lost is like one of the greatest pilots
Oh
ever.
yeah,
Anyway,
love that. Oh
yeah,
yes.
I hope they land this ship. Like I really hope this is like the Half-Life 3 that everybody wants in Destiny terms. But I'm cautiously, pessimistic, optimistic in a weird
That's
way
fair.
because it's been 9 years. I've been burned
Many
almost
times.
every time. Yeah,
I feel that. I feel it. That's
so
fair.
I'll
That's
see it to
fair.
the end, and frankly, I just want to be done with the triumph
Yeah.
chase and free myself of.
That's what it sounds like the root of this is coming
Yeah, I
from.
was like, is this the last
that-
time you're ever going to do this?
To be
Yeah.
clear, I'm not being positive that the final shape's going to have a good story. I'm actually pretty pessimistic about that. And I'm
Mhm.
also not positive that the next story they tell will be good either, because Destiny
Mhm.
just has a lot of
Oh.
baggage and kind of crappy
Oh.
world building.
Think I'm
But
rubbing off on you, Trav. I felt
have a
good
chance.
vibes. I
Have a
felt good
chance.
vibes from Trav.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had this theory
Look.
for some time now where I think since the beginning when Destiny got its basically this big rewrite for the first game. They redid everything, and it ended up being this convoluted story with Destiny 1. I think they've had an idea of certain major plot beats that were supposed to happen throughout the entire story. I think the Riven thing, like wishing us into the Traveler, was one of them. And the Traveler always having a portal and all that. I think that was like always part of the plan. I think the Witness was something they created kind of late, because they needed like an entity to embody the darkness. I have nothing to back this up, but
quick interrupt. How do you feel about the Witness as a end game? Yay, nay. I know Travis.
I don't like
I know
him.
Tassie does not like him.
No,
I never got sure. Okay,
Tassie doesn't like the way it looks specifically.
Okay.
I don't know if
I don't like the way it looks either.
I don't know if he has a problem with the Witness, because I saw a lot of people being like, "Oh yeah, that explanation that we got mid-season was great," and my response to that was, "Well, that's a stupid story. It doesn't make me more fearful of the Witness. It just seems like dumb. You know, the whole Witness's backstory about like how it became to being. Yeah, to me that was an unsatisfactory explanation. I was just like,
the lore in the final shape was like way better.
Or
the lore in the collector's edition.
The collector's edition. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about that on Fireteam chat. Like Paul thought it was a little up its own butt, you know, little fart huffing a little bit, which I would agree with. It is. I mean,
it also suffers from that problem that, and I'm sure animating is difficult and rigging and all that, but there's a lot of Destiny characters in the Destiny universe that don't have mouths, or they cover the mouth for some reason, so they don't have to animate the mouth. And the Witness being the villain of this 10-year saga, not having a mouth, to me is like, all right, come on, guys. Like,
I get that.
That's where you're going to cut costs. Fine, I understand.
Save that budget, baby. I mean, at least the Witness makes sense as it not having a mouth. Like, it kind of, I could see it. It would be weird if it had teeth.
Yeah, because it's so much. It's so many.
Does it eat? Yeah, like what would it be using the mouth for? Logistically.
This has been a right.
But you're right.
Years where there's just too many characters in the Destiny universe that just their mouth is covered, or they don't animate the mouth for whatever reason. And I'm like, I get it. It's hard. It's time consuming. But it's the final villain. Like,
got you.
Come on.
Fair.
Come on.
So
it's fair. It is
the enemy, like having all the details revealed at the end for him, or having that one random cutscene during the Lightfall year. I don't know. It just
weird.
Make sense. Yeah, it's very.
It was weird. It was weird and underwhelming. I'm not very afraid of the Witness. I know we're gonna kill it. You know, like it's not. Yeah,
I will.
I think we're gonna turn it into a weapon. That's how it always works. It's gonna end up being a weapon.
Yeah,
could be. No. I think for
just
me,
has like foggy heads floating off your little.
It'll shoot skull heads. Yeah, ghost heads.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
I didn't mind the story as much as you guys. I just wish it was more instead of a seasonal thing. I like the way it's told, but I think for me, I think your overall point about the Witness is correct. I don't necessarily fear him. I don't necessarily think he's this, crazy entity. But I tell you what, I did fear him. The time I feared him was when we didn't see him at the end of the Garden of Salvation raid, and he manifested himself as us and was talking to us, trying to recruit us. That was dope. And we heard the voice, and I was like, ooh. And then it's like, when I saw him, I'm like, all right. Actually, no, the first official reveal was Witch Queen, I think, at the end.
Yep.
And they gave us that. And I'm like, okay, he looked a little different. But then it was like, the more I saw him, the more I got annoyed with him. I think that's what happened. I got overexposure with the Witness.
We call that the reverse Savathun.
Yeah. Because then now when he came to Lightfall, and I was just like, I don't really fear you. I don't feel like Callus really is listening. And he had that one little moment where you kind of like, I'm gonna strangle you, but I wasn't really. It just didn't hit. He didn't hit me as this ominous thing. So that's just where I'm at. But I think I wanted quickly because you're back. Yeah. I wanted to get you on the Prismatic. We were asking about the Prismatic reveals. I didn't get a chance to see the Titan stuff like that. What was your thoughts on the gameplay, non-manufactured, non-Bungie sizzle reel controlled?
No, I mean, it was nice to see these kind of dev play tests and the testers kind of goofing around and have a good time with the classes. And I mean, overall, it's going to be an interesting subclass. I think they're trying to make sure it's probably a little powerful, but they're probably trying to make sure it's not completely game breaking, even though they tend to come out pretty strong. I mean, PvP, I'm not holding a whole lot of hope for that being fair in most ways, but as for PvE, I'll be very curious how it goes. I mean, I'm just going to be one giant iridescent rainbow color of
Ooh.
all things, it seems like. So we will be.
How we feeling, Titan gang? Are we
The
feeling
only
good?
one, like Mano said it again. He's like, the only thing is like the Titans doing this. I just wish, when he said the Mission Impossible, and now I can't unsee it. The Henry Cavill when he's like gets ready. I would love that. Actually, would be
How
great
would
because
you?
that's all we
How
ever
would you
do is
show
punch
that
it.
in first person though?
Because you're
You can't show that in
here,
first
so you would
person.
just show like one. I don't know, but I was like, I
How
feel
would
like
that
they,
look? It would look like you're throwing a temper tantrum.
I mean, it probably would, but also it's just like
Yeah.
one more time. It's just like I don't know. We do so much, but like, what if it'd be like, I don't know. You
This
could do
is so
all we do is
gangsta, though.
punch.
This is like, yo, we ready. What's
How
up?
is this any different than not punching?
I
You
don't
said
know.
all
No,
we
I
do is
said we.
punch.
Oh, I was saying we do punch, like kind of embrace it as opposed to just I don't know. I just feel like it could have. It's fine. It's fine. I just thought the other two looked cooler, so I just was hoping for
Really?
something. Yeah, yeah, like the hunter, like the twirl with the
Yeah.
knife, and then you guys are
And
doing like
the-
Doctor Strange. Very
Yeah, we're doing
brace-
our little.
Yeah,
Why are you even complaining about this, E? You're a hunter now. Just be happy.
I will be. Yeah,
You're
Be happy, you hunter.
yeah. I'll be a hunter
Hunter
for a
man.
little while.
Yeah,
That'll
hunter
be,
man.
that'll be messy
Disgusting.
And
for a
then
good cause.
Throwing knives. How dare you? This
Yeah.
is space.
I'll just be shooting shiny guns. I'll stick to my
Yes.
solar.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys
how
were-
were we? I'm sorry. Yeah, we just finished the prismatic class. I was going to open it up for you as far as the class items, how you get them, the perks, how you feeling, that kind of stuff that they talked about.
Yeah, I mean, it says they're going to be farmable. It's not going to break the raid since it's obviously after the raids. That's probably the other.
Yes,
I
interesting.
did notice that one. I think they're probably worried about these being a little too strong, but that also means Prismatic won't be like at its full potential for the raid. So it's almost like
course.
using.
They do that
You
every
predicted
time.
it.
I know,
Thank you,
I
Jack.
know.
I predicted
Yeah.
it. Remember?
I know,
The
but it's
fragment that's
just-
always. Yeah, sorry.
But it's
The
like
stuff
this
that
is
you guys are surprised about.
not.
Never fails
No,
to
I'm not
amaze me.
surprised. It's more the using exotics for this subclass isn't going to be quite the same as like Burning Maul as a super or something like that. I guess you could use like Pyrogale, but I feel like this is part of the subclass, or at least it feels like more of it. So it just feels like they're leaving one piece of it.
I understand your concern with this as a player, but I must say, it's actually good game design.
Who is this Travis?
Unfortunately,
Who is this guy on the last? This is the Star Wars guy. This is not Travis. I got Travis.
bro.
This is the Star Wars guy.
I'm just being the guy I've always been, which is I
No,
try to call it how it is or how I see it.
So break it
really.
down. I want to hear why games. Let's say eVoice for the. I'm curious. What are you excited about game design wise with this decision?
When you're introducing something as sensitive as a raid, especially when you have a contest mode attached to it and you want to make it feel epic, the last thing you need is to introduce a lot of variables that could screw that up, right? And if you want them to have fun, there's a few things. One, the idea of unlocking stuff over time. It gives you things to do week 2. It gives you stuff to get excited about, shakes up the sandbox, yada yada. You guys know I'm not a fan of when shows release all their episodes at once. And I kind of feel the same way about sandbox stuff. Is like,
I never knew
yeah,
that.
I don't like it because it.
You don't
to
like
me-
to binge.
It's not that I don't like to binge. I think people are on the side of binging because everybody likes to binge. But I think that it's a case of people not knowing what's good for them, right? Like
Mhm.
take your own medicine. Like if it were up to people would be eating, the worst foods and would, be on social media all the time. People do stuff that is bad for them, right? And binging, I think, is bad for people,
Mhm.
not just because, there's got to be a better way for you to spend your time, but also because then it creates a social pressure for everyone to watch all the episodes day one. And if you don't, you're going to get spoiled. And, there's all that drama. And then also it gets rid of the talking week to week.
Week to week.
The discourse is great. I miss that. And you don't have that when everybody watches it in one day and then forgets about it in a week. But anyway, I think games are kind of the same way in that I'm not a fan of time gating necessarily, but I do think it makes sense for some things to be time gated because it creates a little bit of like conversation. It depends if the weekly drops are good, right? My problem with the seasonal content is that you wait a week for nothing a lot of times, right? To replay 2 hours of the same content and then get like a single audio conversation that's not that satisfying. It's just too thin. If they were beefy though, like what they're doing with episodes where they're separating it into 3 acts and they're giving you each of the acts, I think that stuff could be really good. And so, yeah, the releasing of the subclass over time and the exotics, I think there's probably a reason they're doing it. I think they've chosen specific exotics, and it also creates this thing where only the people who can really dial in can beat the raid on week 1, and then they
Right.
make it easier on the second week by
Yeah.
giving more tools to do so and
Yep.
all this other stuff. So I actually think it's good game design, even though I totally get why as players you'd be upset.
Mhm.
But sometimes devs are giving you your medicine and you don't realize it, you know? They're giving
get
you
you.
your vaccine and you're saying this hurts, and they're saying, well, it's a shot. It's going to help you in the long run, right?
I get you. I
So
get where you're coming from. I get what you're putting down.
yeah.
Teddy, quickly, just your thoughts on the way they're handling it as far as the raid, and then just your idea of the class items themselves. I don't know if you got a chance to look at some of the abilities and stuff like that they're offering with the combinations.
So for the raid, when they delayed Final Shape, I was quite surprised that they chose June 4th, because even though at the time Jeff had not announced his E3 not E3 thing,
They're killing me, bro.
it's always the second week, and so I was like, okay, if they're smart, they'll do the raid on the second week to avoid all this gaming press and news that's going to drown out Destiny and
Good
ruin
point.
the news cycle for them.
Good point.
And
Unless
so
you got
I had
something to
actually I had actually planned to do the raid on the second week. That was my
Mm.
initial plan, and then when they announced the date, and I'm like, well, all right, it's go to Jeff's thing or not go to Jeff's thing and raid. And so,
Gremlin mode.
yeah. Thankfully, I live in Southern California, so it's not, I don't have to get on a plane or anything. It's a quick drive, but
True.
still. So that I wasn't super happy with. Also, historically speaking, when they do the 3 days instead of the 2 weeks, that tends to not be a good raid, or at least not like longevity wise. It tends not to be a good raid. I'm not saying always, but typically that's how it's been. And I also, well, for me, it doesn't affect me as much. I feel like they've learned nothing about the Saturday raid, and
Oh, remember that?
like doing it. I understand they don't want people working on the weekend, but like you're gonna have those people working anyway, because Destiny will explode when a new expansion comes out, and there's always problems. So, yeah, I'm not upset, but I'm also like, okay. And then they did the PR thing where they try to justify it by saying there's a story thing that happens after the raid is beaten and it's the final mission. And yeah, I'm sure that's like part of the whole experience and it'll be fine, but come on, just do it on Saturday. It's not a big deal. Or wait 2 weeks, let everyone, because now I have to rush through the expansion.
Yeah.
I can't, take my time and enjoy it. I'm happy that leveling is basically not going to really be a problem again, like with the same thing they do with Lightfall.
That's pretty great.
That's great.
So
I think I've said it on the show before, but I do have a problem when developers use the we're trying to protect our employees as a cudgel to deliver worse services, So I get it. It's a real thing, but also there's solutions to it, man. You could pay people to work on a Saturday. You can hire contractors to work on it temporarily.
I was like, I'm kind of in the same
It's
boat.
twice a year.
It's twice
your last
a year.
expansion. Like there's so many. Just
I'll go the extra mile a little bit. It's like it's not going to be all the time.
I'm glad Josh said it.
My point is that it's not the player's problem to worry about why the product is worse. And when you point out we're trying to protect our employees, you're kind of using that as a shield against criticism of your product not being as good. And it's like, I get it, and you should absolutely treat your employees right, but also, as a player, not somebody who works in your HR department or whatever, it feels worse. So what do you want me to say?
Especially when they set their own precedent. I'm sorry, you were saying something in reference to it, the raid stuff?
No, I mean, that's pretty much what I was just saying, is the fact that I understand you don't have people working the weekends. You want a good work-life balance. 50 weekends out of the year. Oh, I was going to say, they do 2 raids. It's like if they do the other one. It had been for a while, but yeah, it's like who knows how episodes are going to go. But yeah, I mean, so all but 2 weekends out of the year, you're not going to be working. Cool. 2 weekends, we got raid. I mean, I had a buddy who worked at GameStop who did not have a holiday off for years and years and years and years. Yeah, same thing. And he worked in corporate, and he worked at the corporate for the website, and he's sitting there doing online calls, make sure the website doesn't break when things go live for Black Friday and that type of stuff. His Thanksgivings weren't called. That's just part of where those are.
I've never taken a weekend off. I'll do it, Bungie. Hire me. I'll run your raid Saturday. I
But
don't know.
like,
what's
and I don't want to feel like,
Yeah,
like not understanding to not wanting to
yeah,
work it, but it's not a
empathetic.
common thing. It's not like, hey,
Mhm.
IT's got to be in there every weekend for trials. It's like 2 weeks. That's it. 2 weeks out of the year max just for the raid drops. Saturday is allows more people to do it, and it was just it seemed like such a nicer thing for everybody to get that fresh Saturday start.
Yeah, bro.
There's solutions. Like even if we don't have all the details on how their work structure
Mhm.
is and
Take a
stuff
day
like
off
that.
on a Monday and
Yeah.
give
It's
that
also
Yeah,
not our
there's-
job to. It's not our
Yeah.
job to think about that stuff. We're just
Right.
players. It's our job to give them feedback of, hey, we like this thing, and if they want to make excuses and deliver a worse product, that is their prerogative. But I don't like the idea of players like tempering their expectations or being afraid to ask for certain things just because of this manufactured social pressure about what it would do to their team. I just don't
Mhm.
I don't buy that really.
No, I get it. I get
to,
it. I'm sorry.
to answer your other question about
Yes.
about the class
Yes,
items,
please. Yep.
this is another case of like they kind of overhyped it a little bit in the reveal, so I was very cautious about it. And so when they released these charts, to me, it sounded like that we were going to get exotic abilities from other classes on the class item, and
Right.
that is the case, but in a very limited capacity. It's
Mm.
primarily the exotic abilities from your class,
Mm.
and that's fine. I'm sure this is going to be a nightmare to balance, and there's going to be problems, which it's probably why it's coming out in the second week.
Mhm.
I'm excited to mess with it. It's Destiny's at its best when you can kind of just go like 1,000% and just do everything, and that's what Prismatic and these class items are. So
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to screw around with. Hopefully, there's actual reasons to use the other stuff as opposed to this new stuff. Same with Prismatic. Like I hope it's just not a case of like, all right, just going to use Prismatic forever now on this class item, and I never have to take this off. But I would say they've just been pretty good about actually doing that for the last couple of years, making sure that there's trade-offs, is how they would phrase it. There's trade-offs to using everything.
sitting
So
here
you're not
looking at
pigeonholed into something.
I'm looking at like a passive one right now though, like use an ability to empower two other abilities. So Inmost Light for Titan, and then also Star Eater Scales for orbs for super. So your abilities are recharging faster when you use other ones, and then as you're picking up orbs, which you usually do most of the time by doing basic stuff, your super's better. I'm like, sold. There's some good ones in there, so I'll be kind of curious, as you said, like if anything feels overly busted, or if I feel like it completes Prismatic. I'll be curious
Right.
where I feel like it kind of lands. But as you said, Teddy, I also feel like the limited nature of these is they couldn't have everything in there because that would probably be a little too chaotic. But also, I feel like when you give us the idea in our head of that's what we want, that this could be more. Again, it feels like Prismatic is like a test for a Destiny 3 unsubbed class, undamage typed thing. This is another thing where you're getting armor perks that do others. Just a more creative build system where you could have perks like these on armor that really make your abilities start to shine and stuff like that. It just gives me an idea where you could go a little crazier with Destiny, but in more of a Destiny 3 type of thing.
Mhm.
I'm still curious to
Yeah,
try it though.
yeah, I get you. I think I share pretty much what Teddy said. I kind of came in expecting they can't go all the way crazy with the exotic class item just based on the sheer possibilities and game balance. It would be absolutely nuts. So they're probably taking like one best aspect from every exotic, limiting it down, and instead of giving you the complete. Some of these exotics, let's be honest, they have dual and tri functionality, to it. So I think they're just taking that one thing that they consider the essence of it, putting in it, and then combining it with one other thing. Fine. So for me, it's cool. I'm more excited about actually the prismatic ability mixing, because I feel like, when we had D1, we had a little of that. Remember when we had the circles and all that stuff? And then it's like, okay, I want my grenade to do this. I want Axiom. Like we started to flirt, but then the problem with Destiny 2 is that it all became this basic template, and you have to pick from the template that they told us to pick from, kind of thing. And that kind of was like, not as exciting. So this is at least on that direction of like, okay, I want Strandlings. Oh, okay, I want the freeze grenade to turret thing. I want melee of the solar warlock, that kind of thing from a warlock build. So that excites me more as far as that. But
It's a gateway to Destiny
yes,
3, right? Yeah.
yep. This is
is
yeah.
this is on the path to the final shape. That's what it
I
feels like
agree.
to me.
And I'm
Yeah.
literally taking the final shape down name as a literal thing. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
literally like what we're doing. We're creating this
Kind of.
final version of a Guardian that will be in that image that we saw of the artist one half.
That concept art was cool.
The concept art, and that to me is what the end game is for them. So I like it. I like it. It's
Will we
bringing
be
this-
called Guardians in Destiny 3?
Good question. Who we guarding?
What are
Who
we
guarding?
guarding? What are we
Yeah,
guarding?
what we guarding? Because we ain't guarding the Traveler
Yeah.
all the way in the sense that we are embracing the darkness, and
I don't
maybe
think the Traveler's going to be there at the end of Destiny Final
Mhm.
Shape.
So
You
the
guys think
question,
so?
I guess the question
That's a
would
good
be is
question.
like if we still have a ghost, or if we have another. If we have a ghost, then in a sense, I would think we might still be a guardian. But if we
what
don't have a
Puka's?
don't have a
Puka's a
ghost,
cousin.
maybe
I
I
think
don't know.
you could still have a ghost. I mean, what if the ghosts come from the Traveler?
Right.
I think you have to have a ghost mechanically in the game because they want somebody talking in your ear. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like
Yeah,
they've invested
silent
a little bit
protagonist
in
and all
that.
that
Yeah.
fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just don't know if the word guardian describes what guardians do at this point,
fair.
especially once we defeat the ultimate bad and presumably go out to explore the galaxy or whatever they end
Yeah.
up making Destiny 3. It doesn't really make sense. I don't think it.
Yeah, if the guardians just
more.
bail on the solar system, yeah.
Maybe it just has too much clout for them to change it.
Yeah.
You know,
Could be. Could be.
Guardian.
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 Anything else for you?
No, I didn't actually notice the first three of the second column. I'm looking
Mhm.
through some of them now, a little more detailed. First three of the second column, first three of the first column are all the same on all three classes.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't catch
Yeah,
that before.
They kind of made it sound like in the reveal, and this might just be making me misinterpreting it, but this happens a lot with them. Where to me it sounded like when it drops, it's going to be 2 random exotic perks, but in
Same
reality,
thing.
it's a curated.
It's
Experience, which is
100%
fine.
Yes.
Yeah, that's way easier to balance because
I
they can
I
isolate
thought
the
the
problematic stuff.
subclass was almost on that level where it was pick and choose any super, any
Yeah.
ability for everything we had. So I thought it was like this wide open play space, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be fantastic. And it's like, and now it's
Yeah,
shrunk
they also
twice.
stated with the subclass as well as the exotic class items that certain perks, even though they're pulled directly from other subclasses and other exotics, they're actually slightly watered down. Kind of
Yeah.
what Cog was saying.
That's the vibe
Where
I got.
where they're tuned. They stated this. They're tuned specifically for that version of it.
So how many combinations are there?
It
I
has
mean,
a
They
per
state a
class?
finite
Sure.
amount, or they just said it's an amount.
No, they listed it in the TWAB. Like there's a chart
Damn.
that shows you each combo.
Yeah, we got a chart.
Yeah, so it's
I guess I was wrong about. My thinking was they were given the ultimate, like, the diehards will be chasing rolls for this forever. You know.
yeah, I
what
mean,
thought it
there's
was gonna
like
be, but
64
it
different
sounds like
roles per
not.
class.
Yeah. So the columns. What?
No, that's
one-
not bad
still
actually.
yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Despite being curated, that's actually not bad. That's way more than I thought it was going to be.
I mean, 8 on the left, 8 on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not allowed to dual equip. Did they confirm that?
Yeah, this I think will
Yeah.
still count as your exotic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's not like
basically-
G1
Yeah.
with the exotic class items.
Boo. To me, it seemed
Oh,
like
you-
it would be additive.
Oh,
Yeah.
you wanted it to be additive in conjunction with the exotic?
That would definitely
Oh,
break
yeah.
things. I couldn't
the
put
other
on
class item
Pyrogale
was-
and then Star Eaters on top of that. Or you, that would.
The other class item was.
Oh,
Yeah, but the other class item at D1 was like
That didn't do
all it did was
anything.
give you a bonus rep.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that didn't do
did, bro.
anything.
That was the best item in the game. It made me look hella sick.
From
If
the
you don't
guy
think
who
that's an
from the
exotic
guy who doesn't
effect-
care about drip.
the guy doesn't care about fashion.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't
this
care
is-
about fashion. I care about looking hella sick, which is distinct.
Alice Sick is distinctly different. I got
Yeah.
you.
Damn.
Travis is messy today.
Look,
Oh my
you can be naked and look hella sick.
I'm
Is that
done with you.
fashion?
I look
I don't
sick.
think so.
That's different though.
Yeah. You make everybody else sick. That's the other distinction. And then
Y'all
he
are
coughs.
messy today.
I love
Yeah.
his response.
Little cough. Yeah, that's all I got right now. It's
That's all he got. That's all he
it's
got.
just that like tickle in your throat. And it's just
Oh,
like,
man.
can't stop.
What's going on with these deep sites, E? Put me on. What's the word?
That's the same
What's
thing
going
they've
on?
done, I think, past couple of years, if I remember right, where basically
Mhm.
everything from the season, if you go do every daily reset, you can go buy a red border from the helm for each of the seasons.
And the
Okay.
activity too. Like if you do the seasonal activity, you're guaranteed 1 per day per activity.
Oh, I
Got
didn't
it.
read that part.
Instead
So
of
that's, I think, even more than before. So yeah,
ex-
there should be no
okay.
reason. If there's a red border weapon you want from any season this year, there's
Mhm.
no reason not to. And
But
especially if you have PlayStation, I think even Lightfall's free. So
Mhm. But have they addressed what is it? The deep site residence issue. Where's that at?
no.
Where's the sources for that? And why in their damn API I can't access old season deep so and why can I only hold one? I'm in a deep site harmonizer angry Bungie mode right now.
I mean, that's fine, but it's
As
just
a person who loves to
there's
craft, this is bothering me. Why do I
well,
have to use third-party browsers and apps to get old seasons of deep seat harmonizers that I can't claim anymore that I have, and I can only hold one at a time? What's going on, Bungie? What's happening?
Oh, well, that's an oversight. Like you're not supposed to be able to access old seasons, but I think they can't actually like stop the API from looking at that. And the way they
Mhm.
get around that is by updating the app to only show the last season.
The last
yeah.
season.
But there's 2 ways to get around it. You can use the add-on, which is the most common one, or if you have an old version of the app and you have an Android phone or you run BlueStacks on your computer to emulate an Android phone, it'll still show that season pass if you have that version of the app from when that season was relevant. So I think it's just a technical oversight on their part where they can't figure it out, and that's why we're able to do that. It is
Okay.
really silly. We can't just access the whole year though, but
They
whatever.
got us out here doing IT work just to
We're,
get the
we're,
old.
we're like 3 years into seasons. They're not going to change any of that stuff. They're
Yeah.
not gonna-
It
Yeah.
was like just let it go.
Or at minimum, if they don't want us to access the old season,
From
at
Disney.
minimum,
Let it
yes,
go.
let it go.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But this is what I can't let go. Why I can only hold one at a
Oh,
time
that's silly. That's silly.
in
It's
a
also
season that you give me 3 to 4 of them?
6.
Come
You
on.
get 6 on the
It's so
season
you
pass.
can't hoard them. It's so the players like me can't hoard them.
And I'm the
It's my fault.
crafted guy. I'm the guy that when I get a weapon I like, I'm enhancing the hell out of that thing. Like I want to be like Teddy. I want to be optimal. Why let me be optimal? What's going on, Bunch?
I think
So
you just need to write a strongly worded letter and send it to them,
Yeah.
and really
They'll
voice
they'll
your
totally
concerns.
change it after that letter. So
Yeah.
I'm taking advice, Teddy. All right, I got you, Teddy.
So yes, red borders are available for all the seasonal stuff. So if you want them, no question. Biggest one I would probably like some of the bigger ones I'm seeing. The fusion rifle from this season is very worth getting.
Oh yeah,
The
scatter.
linear also from the season and the trace.
Yes. Oh yeah, scatter is crazy. Doom partitioning with precision instrument. Yeah, scatter setting with control burst is crazy. The traces, the stasis one.
Yeah,
Sounds right.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
one of 2
killing
primary
tally.
trace rifles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pretty
yep.
much if you need one, go get it. You have no excuse right now.
No excuse. Yep.
0 Hour comes back next week. That'll be exciting
I'm
to
excited for
kind of
that.
play through again. I enjoyed my runs through Whisper. And
Forever.
did you ever run
Old
all?
content.
Did you run Whisper on Legend to get all 3 at once, Travis? Did you do that yet?
No,
He's back to being a duck. He's ducking.
I did not.
He's straight
no,
ducking.
but I have.
He ducking it.
He
I
ducking.
got the base gun. I just didn't go back and get all
Yeah.
the. What are they? Catalysts?
It's the
Like the upgraded
craftable
crafted
perks, so you can
version.
get like field prep and
Yeah.
so that you
that
actually do
thing.
need to do.
Especially if you're going to
All
do
right.
Pantheon.
What are we doing after
And-
this, guys?
It's also the increased
Boys.
white nail damage. I can help you with it. It's that mission's really easy
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Like, it's such.
Yeah,
It's,
I did the base version by myself. So
yeah,
Oh, wow.
it's super easy. You just scream
Uh-oh.
through it. We're way more powerful than when that mission came out.
True.
So
It'll be fun to run back through Trevor, and I'll be curious where everything's hidden again, running through there. But yeah, 40 minutes on normal, plenty of time to wander around, check every nook and cranny. And then once you finally got it figured out, 20 minutes, just beeline through it. Should be fun though. These are some of the best missions we had, so I'm glad they will be in the game for people who didn't enjoy them or ever get to see them before.
didn't enjoy them.
Didn't
I'm
get
glad,
to
I'm glad they'll be in the game for people who didn't enjoy them.
who didn't get
Screw
to
you.
enjoy
Can't
them.
escape them. I like my version better.
Yeah, okay.
Mine's more petty.
Of course it is. It's Travis.
Of course.
So, also during these, is it now? I think it's now. Yep. As of yesterday, or as of Tuesday, Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen, Season of Defiance, Deep, Witch, and Wish, all free. Or I should say not free.
Can you say all those
Available
again? That was very funny to hear you list all those random words. It sounded like you were consulting a Ouija board. Go ahead.
Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen, Defiance, Deep, Witch, and Wish.
We hear our plea. We summon you.
Ribbon comes through my monitor. What's up?
That's good to know. The seance has
Defiance
begun.
deep.
Also, PlayStation Plus
Deep
members
wish.
get Lightfall. Make sure you claim Lightfall if you don't have it. Strand is basically free sitting there for you.
Mhm.
And they say that's not all. When Final Shape launches on June 4th, the campaigns for Shadowkeep and Beyond Light, along with the Stasis subclass, will remain available to all players at no additional cost. Campaigns and Stasis. But
There's a
But-
but.
there's a but. If you're
What they
looking
do?
to get everything else that Shadowkeep and Beyond Light expansions have to offer beyond the campaigns, we will have
Mhm.
2 packs at your disposal, similar to the Forsaken pack, the Shadowkeep pack, and the Beyond Light pack.
Mhm.
Cheddar. Cheddar.
Man, I'm
Hey guys.
confused.
Hey guys, we found a new monetization model. Add it to the list.
wait, I'm confused. So they're giving us-
Guy
So the
comes out with a
campaigns and Stasis will be available to all players, but
right?
the exotic, the armor, Scarlet Keep
Oh,
Nightfall,
the
Pit of
actual
Heresy
content.
Dungeon, Garden of Salvation,
Oh,
12
the
exotic
actual-
weapons, 6 exotic armor, Glassway and Proving Grounds Nightfalls, and the Deepstone Crypt Raid. That is what you will not have without
I'd like to
those.
I'd like to create a new tradition, E. Anytime Bungie finds a new way to monetize
Oh, no.
Destiny,
We need like a
I
cha-ching in
I want D to come out in a bikini and like point at like a grid and then add like a new line item to it. You know what I mean?
God.
And then we
They're
just
giving
found
us-
another monetization, and Teddy will ring a gong. It'll be great.
That's
I
hilarious.
think this is a good idea.
So they're giving us the it's a shell of the content. You're giving us the campaign and the actual
Forsaken
super,
pack still exists, yes.
but you're not giving any rewards in any end game
So
content
The
from said.
dungeons, the exotics, the strikes,
The strikes,
and-
man.
and
So why
like- and
even
like-
say?
and
Yeah.
like random activities that are associated with
Yeah,
those.
They're
just
basically
say-
giving you stasis and some stories.
And the story, yeah. Just say we giving you the story, and that's that. It's so weird.
But
to
also,
word
those two
it like that.
campaigns are like incredibly weak compared to Witch Queen specifically, but even Lightfall, because they were haphazardly made. So it's like Shadowkeep in particular. I don't know if you guys have played that at all recently.
Yeah.
It's like 2 missions and you do a bunch of stuff
was-
with the armor on.
Yeah.
It's very silly. Like it's not fun at all, and the story doesn't make any sense. It's all over the place for many reasons. So yeah,
Ashla Browns.
I like what you said.
This is the Bungie monkey
Hashla
paw.
tag.
The
Yeah.
classic monkey paw of like, all right, we hear you. You guys want these old campaigns for free. All right, here you go. But, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't affect us in any way. But
Once Final Shape is live, we'll also launch a
Mhm.
new pack called the Destiny 2 Legacy Collection 2024. Travis, where's D?
where's
Teddy,
D?
are you?
Get
Where's
out
the
here.
gong?
Put on your bikini. Da, 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 da.
So this pack will give
Add
you
it to the
access.
board.
This pack will give you access to some of the best content Destiny has to offer. Lightfall, Witch Queen. The 30th anniversary pack is still a thing. Bungie, or the Beyond Light pack, the Shadowkeep pack, and the Forsaken pack with a parenthesis. That's a typo.
At least call it the 32 anniversary pack.
Either way, yeah, that'd be fun.
Have some respect. You have to buy it every year because they change its name.
Yeah.
You lose all the content. Totally new expansion.
I
Add
want-
it to the board. D, get out of here.
How is the 30th and no one's running Dares of Eternity. How is that not free?
I run it on a dare. Somebody dares me to run it. That's why it's called Dares of Eternity.
I dare you to run it 100 times.
All right. Teddy, grab your controller. You're doing it.
He's like, I didn't get dared. I'm out of this. There's no way.
We are bound by
Hilarious.
blood.
I've heard of
Hilarious.
that activity too much. They
Yeah.
they power crop that activity so hard. After they
really
made us go
did.
back in there to grind everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't-
it's. I mean,
They're
yeah. I'm glad you brought this to my attention. Yeah, I did not know this was
Ebontis is
going on.
dying.
And
This is last episode.
it's a lot. Yeah, it's definitely his last
Yeah,
word.
He's gonna die at episode 299. There was time now. He was so close to episode 300.
Oh man, yeah, it's just like unfortunately, stakeholders gonna stakehold, and no matter how much what we're learning about the games industry is, no matter how much the creatives may want to do things for us, this is the sad reality of the games business, and they're not gonna let these things go. And I was just surprised. So on one hand, yeah, you got something.
I mean, it's just I feel like at
I mean, I'll
this
take the
point,
win.
yeah, exactly.
I'll take
Yeah,
the
I'll
free
take it.
stuff.
yeah,
I feel like at this point, if you want anybody to play your episodes, though, I mean, the legacy pack is there. I guess it's got
Yeah.
everything in it, but it's probably gonna be $60 for
Yeah.
the legacy
The-
pack,
like
and
the-
then $100 for final shape and everything. So it's still gonna be
The
expensive.
problem I foresee with this is when you go into the store, they're going to have this collection that's going to have all the expansions, and those 2 campaigns will be free, but they're still going to have it all piecemealed. So if you're
Yep.
a new player or someone that's coming back to Destiny, you're still going to need someone like us
Yep.
to sit them down and be like, no. Don't buy all these 15 things. You just need to buy
Yep.
this one thing, and then there's also this one other random thing you need to buy,
Yep.
whatever that'll be. And they just need to remove the individual purchases from the store, and it's like, here's the bundle. It's $40 or $50 or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
You get
that's
it.
all I would
You get it
want if you're
all.
gonna do it that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if they still want to do the dungeon passes and the episode pass, fine, whatever. And Final Shape, it's its own thing. That's fine, because then you only have like 4 items or 5 items max. But right now, if you open up the Xbox store, the Steam store, PSN,
it's insane.
you basically need a Ouija board to figure
Yeah.
out what to buy.
Say it
It's-
again, E. Say it again. Say our
so-
chant.
Say our
it's so
chant.
stupid.
Hold on, I got this.
Yeah.
Wait.
Everybody, do an occult symbol while he reads it.
Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen, Defiance, Deep,
That was
Witch,
good. Yeah, I like this.
Wish.
Feeling like Morla right now. Feeling the energy.
So it shall
bro.
be.
It shall be. Behold.
Hold on, I forgot one. Legacy Collection 2024. And on that bombshell, that's the end of the
we played
episode.
that game.
That's the end
Yeah.
of the episode. We
Great.
Snapped out of existence. Oh my god.
Yep.
What do you think the last action line will be when we beat the witness?
What do you mean the last action line? I
Did
thought you
it
were
go
gonna
through
say
the
last
line,
action
man?
hero for a second. I'm like, wait,
You
what?
know, like when
Somebody in chat said Ayat.
Ayat.
Yo, y'all stupid.
Ayat.
Activating the Winter Soldier. Nice.
Yo, y'all
That
are
literally was a
stupid
Winter
today.
Soldier activation.
Yeah, that's what that
Yeah,
is.
did they have all these random?
yeah. Great.
Kilo.
Last
Yeah.
action line, like when Schwarzenegger stabs
Yep.
somebody with a knife and says "stick around" or whatever.
Yeah.
You got to have a last action, like a
You're
pun.
terminated.
Longing.
Yeah.
Rusted. 17. Daybreak. Furnace. 9. Benign. Homecoming. 1. Freight car.
Yeah.
There it
That is, by the
There it
way,
is.
those are all the upcoming expansions for Destiny. You just
Great.
That's the code word for
Freight
it.
car.
that's the next 8 episodes of
Freight car is just
Freight car.
it's just
not
like
wild.
the
Freight car is hella underrated. That's one of my favorite episodes of Destiny.
That is hilarious if they
Yeah.
drop a joint like that. I'm buying it for the name alone. That's
For
wild.
sure, dude.
oh man.
Oh man.
Thank you guys for the laugh. I needed that.
You needed that. You needed that.
Yeah. Have you guys been
God.
searching for Archie, by the way? Good boy protocols.
Yeah.
I know.
Thankfully, I did it the first week. I almost didn't do it, and then apparently it's a
I
weekly
can't
thing
go
that
get
goes away.
Cosmodrome.
Yeah, it's a weekly thing that goes away for whatever reason, and I'm like, wow, I almost missed max triumph score, and they didn't say anything. I could have been free. Like,
No, I literally
It's about
got back.
Cosmodrome?
I got back and then I got sick on Monday. I did like a little bit of bounty prep, but I didn't do Archie. I was like, I'll just get that next week. And I go to log in and I got EDZ this week, and then there's nothing else. I'm like, there's one last week. I can't get it. I'm SOL.
Wow.
yeah, they confirmed last week, or I think the week before in the TWAB that or the TWID that
You missed him?
it's a 1 week thing, and then it goes away, which makes absolutely zero sense why it's like that, but it is like that, and
Damn.
I was so close to being free.
You got
and they-
lucky, Teddy. You almost
Yeah,
broke
you
the
almost.
spell.
Yeah. Oh.
We almost got to
Yeah.
say the words again.
Yeah.
Wish.
Yeah. You'd have been in
Almost.
trouble. I will say this, even though it's stupid, I do like it. It's a fun little
I
mini
like
game.
it, yeah, it's
I like
fun.
it. I like it. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's kind of stupid, but I like it.
It's silly. It's
I
funny.
like when
it's
Destiny
goofy.
does things like
Yeah.
this. That to me, that's
Like when
Destiny.
they added fishing.
Yeah,
No.
it's just silly. It's but you know, you get to
Fishing
do
was
it.
fishing.
terrible.
Fishing
was
is awful in
terrible.
Destiny.
But you
Yeah,
know how
it
many
really is.
people wanted fishing though?
Oh yeah, and then it's
How
gonna
many people
presumably
really
go
wanted
away
it?
in
That
3
is a
weeks.
monkey paw, though. That is the
Yeah.
definition.
Yeah,
You
yup.
can
You
have
want
fishing,
fishing?
but it is.
Now you're gonna grind and it's
mind
fishing
numbing.
forever, and you're gonna have to get exotics.
Do you think it will stay around once Final Shape gets here, though? Because it's a seasonal
think
thing.
so.
I think it'll
I don't
go.
No,
think
I think
so.
it's a season. I think it's one of the seasonal things that they're taking out.
I feel
Yeah,
like
which is
if we,
weird because they should just keep it.
I
Like,
feel like
Why?
that
It's
is
bad.
I don't know,
Delete
just-
it.
almost
a
like
thing
the
that's-
Delete it.
story of Destiny, because you've got this potential of like, we had a little bit of a roguelike. We had, the little bit of fishing thing. We've got a beta for a tower defense. We've got like the Prisma, all of this little stuff that they've tested, and it's limited time, and they can't go that far into or go back and revisit and refine Onslaught 2.0 or something. I mean, can you imagine Onslaught where you had freedom to put stuff where you want, different types of turrets that you could put up, trip mines that didn't actually suck, decoys are pretty legit, but it was just each of those activities that we've had that they get one season to work on and stuff. It does feel like every time we get this like an idea of potential, and I think that would be, there's some YouTube video later on, it's like the game that had potential or something. It always had potential. Always.
Well, that's
Feels
just
like-
like the story of Destiny. Its entire existence
Yeah.
is like they come up with these amazing ideas and then they release it in a hyper simplistic state. For whatever reason, there's a number of reasons they do that, and then they either never iterate on it or it takes them literal years to iterate on it, and sometimes it ends up being good when they do iterate on it, but a lot of stuff just gets left in the dust or in the dirt. And yeah, they take a lot of learnings from those things that go away, but you sometimes just need those like core pillar things that exist and are just updated continuously and are changed and improved. And Destiny sort of has really lacked that for a long time. Like, it's great that we got a new seasonal activity or a story or whatever, but I don't know, they need, like, I hope Onslaught stays, and I hope they improve upon it in like 2 months or 3 months or whatever, and it becomes better, because
that window of
has
hope
potential.
is too soon.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it's just the way they operate. I get it now at this point. We're 10
Yeah.
years in. Like, I know what to expect.
Yeah, it's like who you are at this point.
well, anything else from you guys for this week? Oh, funny story though. Well, okay, I will wrap with that story. Anything else from
Let's
you
go.
guys for this week?
That's it for me.
I love you guys. Thanks for
Love
putting
you
up
too.
with
Aw,
me.
love you too, buddy.
Love you too.
And Cog, thanks for putting out with me.
Oh, hey now.
That's a
Are you
that's
cheating on me?
a little
Damn, I
different.
didn't even have to buy you no drinks in that. Dude, it's easy.
You don't
This
have to
was
buy
If
me.
you made it this far into the
I just
episode,
straight to
You're,
business. baby.
you're already a tall glass of water. I don't need
Hey
to buy
now.
you get a drink from you.
I was
but-
gonna say, if you made it this far into the episode, I think this one's your fault. No, I'm
we
just kidding.
canceled.
Yeah. No, so the cruise that I went on, it was a Disney cruise, because we have me and my wife and two other friends of ours, we hang out quite a bit. It's just like two couples because we don't have kids. And then the other couple has two kids, and we don't get to hang out with them as often. And we've done a couple cruises like as vacations and stuff. Well, they told us that they booked the Disney cruise, and the other couple that we tend to hang out with, not the one with the kids, they're Disney adults. I don't know if you've heard of these people, but they go to Disney all the time. Didn't know it was a thing until they started doing it way more than I know anybody would go to Disney. So, my friend's wife, she really wanted to go on the Disney Wish, the new boat that they made. And then our friends with the kids said, hey, we're doing a vacation on the Disney Wish, and we're doing it at this time or whatever. So a literal year in the making, keeping the secret from them the entire time.
Wow.
We booked the cruise, flew out there. And the funny thing is, not funny, because they had a really crappy travel experience. When we ended up booking our flights, we were 2 hours before them departing. So our flight left 2 hours before them and got out there. We went out there and did the Kennedy Space Museum, kind of like the day before. We went to Port Canaveral, which was, I didn't see maybe a quarter of that place. It is massive, by the way.
Mm.
We went inside just kind of the main area that had, I got to see a whole spaceship. They're I'm trying to think what is space shuttle. Sorry, not spaceship. Too much Destiny. The space shuttle, it's the Atlantis, and it's sitting inside of this hangar. It is massive. The whole heat shield underneath it is enormous.
Love geek stuff like that.
It's so cool. And so my friend's sister actually works at Lockheed Martin right now. Smart lady. And she's working on, I think, the Orion capsule that they're working on right now. But she told us, like, that day they were doing one of the, like, Starlink satellite launches. So from the parking lot, as we were kind of like walking back to get to our Uber, as the place closed down, we kind of waited long enough, even though they were trying to kick everybody out of the parking lot. There's like 50 cars in this parking lot just watching this thing go off. We see it start to go up, and then finally you see, first off, that is outside of the solar eclipse, which you should not look at. That is one of the brightest things I have seen, like the fuel coming out of the fire coming out of the back of the rocket. But then when the sound picked up, one of the loudest things I have heard, and we were that far away. It was so loud. It was just bananas to go through. We did that, stayed out there in the hotel, had some food, got up the next morning, got on the boat, and we were trying to figure out where they were. Like, were we going to see them in line when you board? We got on the boat, and then they sent us a picture where they were at this, like, statue of Cinderella. She's, like, kind of the opening in the main area. We're like, it was, like, 3 minutes after we walked by that. So where are they? So then they were doing, like, kid stuff. Finally, we found them in their room, and I have the video where we, like, walk up and, like, knock on their door, and I have it on video because it was just, like, the one farther back, and I opened the door. Total shock and awe, and the best part, I don't have the shirt with me, but our friend, just to lean into the joke even more, made, like, their last name, Family Vacation, on our t-shirts that we wore when we met them. So we like totally crashed their vacation, but it was actually fun because we hung out with them a little bit, and you know, kind of it was a good time. But yeah, a year in the making, we crashed somebody's cruise. And my buddy, who kind of reminds me of like Travis for like quips and quick one-liners, he's like, it's going to be really expensive to beat you guys on this prank. So, that was actually, it was cool that it paid off. Like, it didn't get spoiled.
Everything aligned.
Everything aligned, didn't pay off. They didn't have to cancel for some reason. We end up on the boat, and they're not. So many things could have happened.
So many things could go wrong. Yeah, that's dope, man. Salute. I like the shirt. That sounds hilarious.
Yeah, that was. It was actually pretty funny, and made some for them. So we have one giant picture with.
I gave that. So you had to
gave them some as well. Yeah, so it was a little ridiculous, but it was fun. So
salute to y'all.
Yeah,
no doubt.
So that's what I was doing for last week.
Cool.
So I think on that, I'm gonna go try and not cough into the microphone anymore. Sorry, everybody. Any outros for you guys? I'm gonna go probably play more V Rising or Hades or No Rest. I want to jump back into No Rest for the Wicked after some of these patches. There's a lot of stuff I actually want to play right now, and I haven't been able to touch much. So it's and Destiny raids. Apparently, I need to raid.
Yep.
So I have too many things. But Teddy, glad to have you back on here. I have officially lost the attendance record at this point, but I'm gonna give you the unofficial. Scarrow can complain all he wants, but I'll give you the unofficial. Sometimes
it has been a while. I think it was last time when
it's Travis a shutout if you count all 295 episodes of our Star Wars show before it got canceled.
It's true. That I was like, just like another show that I was gonna say, now you're on another show that actually has gone past 301, but a little while ago I was gonna say another show that didn't make it to 301, but now you have. So are you going to be doing Fire Team Chat in perpetuity now?
For the foreseeable future. We're not doing an episode this week, but we're doing one the week after. So I think this week we're not doing it because Destin's at an event.
Oh, okay.
I would imagine episodes will be an interesting timing.
Cog knows what he's at. Cog knows what he's at. But I'm on 2 Destiny shows now, which seems like a huge mistake.
You didn't know what you got into signing up with us, damn it.
You got roped back into IGN, so I think you've been on our show more than you were on Fire Team Chat, right?
Easily, yeah.
Yeah,
Fire
I think
Team
so.
Chat I was on for my first episode was in August or September of 2019, and then the show ended during COVID, I think. We definitely made it through Beyond Light and
Ended with Witch
close
Queen.
to the Witch Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got close to the Witch Queen. I don't even know if we made it to the Witch Queen,
Gotcha.
but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
been on the show way longer.
Oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say you got a
I was just-
defining Duke. I think everybody needs to go listen
Ooh,
to.
yeah, it was very passionate. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Bradley Ellis. He was on as well, and I talked about
Passionate or just unbridled wrath. Like, I mean, how we doing?
Oh, I mean, I can only speak. You know me. I'm always the more even
Corporate
keel
cog.
more even keel. Little some just corporate understandings, but I'm always gonna be honest, right, about how I feel. But I think that yeah, Maddie had one for the ages that people need to tune in for. He's definitely very passionate in that stuff.
It's
And
well
just trying to make
tempered
sense
and
of
yep.
yeah, just trying to make sense of it because obviously I'm a huge Tango fan, so this one cut deep for me. But yeah, obviously just I would highly advise people to listen to it, make your own conclusions of how you feel, and I think at this point, however you choose to process it is your way, and that's fine. But yeah, it was a good episode. And what else we got this week? Got actually indie developer on from New York. They're making this kind of like a roguelite / Vampire Survivors. And I love the name of their game because they like brand new and they can tell like they're college kids and they broke. But I saw the game and it's called Let Him Cook. It's the chef and he's running around. And I'm like, yo, this game is punching above its weight like a Vampire Survivors like type game. So yeah, we'll have them on, and obviously we'll talk about all the news what's been going on at Xbox, what's been going on with PlayStation, and the whole, it's so much going on in the industry right now. So we got that, and then yeah, hopefully next week I get to talk about some things that I can't talk about yet. Can't talk about, but I'm excited about, and we shall see. But that's pretty much it for me, man. A lot of travel, and hopefully seeing you at the end of the month when you feel better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I better feel better by the 29th or 30th or whatever that is. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Assumption.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna get worse and worse.
No, we can't put that out there. I need him good. I need him better.
Like I got a guest room.
That's right. That's right.
I make no
So,
promises though, because dog noises at 8 a.m. When that dog gets fed, you're gonna be awake.
Dog noises.
I'll be knocked out. I will sleep through a lot of stuff like that, so no problem.
Yeah, and for me, I told you guys like whenever I get healthy, I have a lot of stuff that I want to play. 4 different games right now, and there's another one that comes into, I think, early access for. I think I can say it, but I don't know. Next week, I know something's gonna be like
Yeah, next
coming
week's a lot of
soon.
big week.
So
Oh, and more Dogma. It's all Dogma. I got my Mystic Spear hand. I'm just, oh my god, that's one of the best classes. And I absolutely love that thing.
I had fun with
So
it, and then I
good.
switched over to.
Trickster.
No, I went to go power.
And what was your pawn?
My pawn was always like a mage.
Yeah, I got mine as a sorcerer. It's crazy.
I always wanted a healer with me, so I like focused on
Yeah.
just having him be full support, cleansing,
Yep.
everything. Well,
Yep,
then
yep.
everything else I had was just DPS, throw it at it. So I was good.
Yep. Fair enough.
Well, thank you guys for putting up with my cough. Gentlemen, thank you for joining the episode and hosting it for One for the Ages, I think. This will be
The new show is crazy. I like
Yeah,
the new show. And Travis,
the new Star
long
Wars
running.
podcast we're hosting
Yeah.
here on the Last Word Network is going to
Canceled,
be,
unfortunately.
yeah. But things happen. It was a trial run. It
Good
was
run.
it was a beta test.
Yeah. Award winning.
We did have a error in the middle, so it did have to cut it short. It's fine.
Mhm.
No. But thank you guys for being here. Chat, you guys were keeping up with us pretty well. Thank you guys, and for my host and everybody. And for this episode, hopefully I will be healthier next week. But it has been the last word.
Last word.
Word.